Ready.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh,
Let me guess, you dropped your beer.
No, I opened my beer and it's just fizzed up all over me.
Fair enough.
lame.
Right.
Beginning.
I don't even have a camera.
No, never do I.
I bought one for this. Right. So, you have arrived at the Adventurers Guild in Iridal.
Oh god, I haven't got the map open.
Oh, you
It's fine. You don't need the map yet.
Yes, I do, for immersion. Where
Okay.
is it? Here it is.
You have travelled here from your starting point, mainly for the promise of joining the Adventurers Guild for gold and glory. Upon arrival, you were shown in to the from the front desk into a large hall and given a number, after signing your name in the register. Now you are standing in a large room. There are approximately 100 people in here, and there is a podium up on the stage at the far end. At this point, you are still separated in the room. There is a general hustle and bustle of people waiting. After a few moments, a dwarf comes onto the stage and takes the lectern. Clearing his throat, he begins. Hello, I am Jarek Ironback, and I will be conducting this induction, assigning your parties and giving you your first missions. Now then, a little history of our group. We were founded by a tiefling by the name of Eustace Scaleshield over 200 years ago, and have since then become the first and best choice for people in need of help. Now, I am glad to see so many of you here, and do hope to see you again. As I'm sure you read in our flyers, we offer high pay, high quality missions, and high mortality rates. Now, once I call your name and number, make your way to the room on my right. I will meet you there shortly. Now then, Group A. Number 13, Merrick. Number 29, Minstrel. And number 87, Ballador.
I
Finally.
thought I was 69.
Please make your way to the room. I'll join you there shortly.
Oh,
I must.
I make my way to the room.
Good call.
Uh,
Once you are all carefully seated in the room, he walks in.
I'm not there yet. I'm looking a bit bewildered, wondering why I'm here.
You
Can't
paid
find his
for
chair.
the flyers. Come on.
can't find
No,
his
I
make it
went
a
the wrong
section roll.
way.
It's always one.
I was looking for the blacksmith guild. Oh, fuck it. All right, I follow my colleague.
While you're standing about in the room, Jarek walks in. He takes a seat at the desk to the back of the room and gestures you to the two sofas in the centre. Please, take a seat.
Well, thank you, but I don't have room in my pack for it.
Okay, not quite what I
chairs.
meant, but help yourself to a cushion.
Oh, take one of those.
Add it to your inventory. He was joking, but this will come back. Now then, Group A, let's see who we have. So, we have Merrick, resident cleric, trained in Godholm. Then we have Minstrel, the Bard. Some confusing information here. And Ballador, our fighter. And it says here you were former military. Marvellous.
Yep,
Now
I was
then.
very...
Let's talk about your first mission. I have here a contract to go kill 3 beasts at a small town out in the boonies. Let's see, what was it called? Ah, yes, Mars, out towards Mount Glom. Your contact will be the village elder, and I have arranged a carriage to take you. Now, once you finish
I
the
don't
monsters...
I can drive the carriage. If you like.
Travel sick.
It's fine. I've arranged a driver so you can rest on the way.
Okay.
Now, once you finish defeating the monsters, simply get a message from the village elder sent back to me here, and I will pay you the remainder of your fee. This is your advance, as he throws you each a bag of 10 gold pieces.
What?
Now then, off you go. Do try and get along with each other, and do remember you are representing the Adventurers Guild.
I have a question, please.
Okay, go ahead.
At what point will we start to learn the forge?
In your own time?
Because I really want to be a blacksmith.
Well, we can arrange facilities for you here once you're a senior member, should you so desire.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He then shows you out of the main building to a carriage waiting, which rather conveniently has an A painted on the side to show your group. There's also a line of other carriages waiting to pick up the rest of the groups. So he encourages you up in the carriage.
I hope it's a big carriage.
Yeah, it's plenty big enough. It could take easily 6 or 7 people.
Oh,
3 of you.
look at the wheels on that beast.
They're wood.
That's
I
oh.
don't have wheels.
I was going to say they've
Most
been forged
carriages
really
wouldn't
well,
wheel.
but I will stick with that remark and allow you to all glance at me confusedly.
Yeah. Already done it.
Okay. As you climb into the back, the carriage immediately sets off through Iridal. As it heads along the main street, you can look out the window, or out the side, and see many very rich-looking people, as well as merchants, hurrying back and forth with their wares. Anyone want to... At this
I
point?
would like to. I would like to say, well, I suppose we ought to get to know each other.
Marcus.
My name is Balador Backbiter. I look like a half orc because I'm a half orc. I'm 6'11", 240 pounds, so I'm pretty well built, and I'm very, very handsome with a charisma of 8.
Very charismatic.
Well, I'm Minstrel Bardington III. My friends call me Pete. I mean, I suppose by the books, I'm a bard. I like to think of myself as an aspiring blacksmith who can play the lute. I'm a half moon elf. I'm still young. I'm only 18. I was actually due to sit my bard exam. Oh dear. My undisclosed exams today, in fact. But it looks like I've kind of maybe gone the wrong way a little bit. I'm 5'11". I weigh 110 pounds.
Tiny.
My God.
Where I'm from, it is referred to as the Simon disease. I have bright blue eyes, and I've got, obviously being half elf, I've got very naturally pale skin and long silver hair.
What is a moon elf?
Something about the moon, and I'm an elf.
Good to see you read the information. Shall we move on?
You know a lot about yourself.
Only a half elf?
I'm Merrick Johnson, a Loxodon cleric. Absolute beast, 7'10" and 320 pounds. Please don't get on my wrong side, or I will admonish you.
I hereby decree that all bananas looted in the party should be passed into Merrick's trunk.
racist. I will not accept
like
any
it.
such racism. I locks it on an elephant.
Okay.
I sit back and quietly strum my guitar, my lute.
The rest of the day passes, and as evening rolls around, you're heading through the countryside. The two drivers up front briefly call out they'll be taking a quick stop to switch. After this, as the sun sets, you fall asleep in the back of the wagon, or back of the carriage. The next morning, your party descends upon a small village. The walls are damaged, and the guards look uneasy as you dismount the carriage.
What did you do, Merrick?
It's the sheer size of the beast that steps forth. It's a very imposing figure.
I say, hail, fellow part humans. Why the long face? And I'm not talking about this elephant man next to me.
Racism.
The guards... Oh, dear. The guards call back. Why are you here?
We've been sent by the Adventurers... Oh, we're part of the Adventurers Guild, and we've been sent to kill some monsters.
Slay some beasts.
I think we need to get through your village to get to these monsters, or maybe you know something about it?
Okay. As you call out, a middle-aged man walks through the gates.
Dad?
He introduces... Sorry? Leaving that one. He introduces himself as the captain of the guard, Philip.
I'd say greetings,
Phil.
Philip. I also used to be a captain. Together, we could share many stories of our military histories.
Maybe some other time. He briefly encourages you to follow him towards the elder's house. As he turns, you can see the great sword slung over his back.
I say that's a very great sword.
He sighs at your pun,
He doesn't like me
Rick.
deservedly.
because I'm an orc, not because of my jokes. It's racist. This is what I'm saying to the elephant man.
Fair enough. So, you are shown into what's probably the nicest house in the partially destroyed village you're travelling through. An elderly man is sitting at the table. He gets up to greet you and walks across the room. You'd put him in the early 60s to late 70s. You're not quite sure. He's gone quite grey. Hello. You, I am told, are from the Adventurers Guild. My name is Elder Damien. And I believe you're here to deal with our problem. Is probably the best way to put it.
Greetings, Elder Damien. What are these beasts that we must slay?
Ah, yes. I'm sure the Adventurers Guild has told you and sent us an experienced party.
Sadly not.
I interrupt and say out my confusion about the situation, as I thought we were merely passing through the village, looking the elderly man in the eyes as I say this.
I was told you were from the Adventurers Guild. My apologies if I have that wrong.
We are from the Adventurers
Yes,
Guild. Look,
we
there's
are,
an
we
A
are.
on our cart. That means adventurers.
The cart has at this point left you here.
Oh.
No.
Oh. How are we going to get back?
Oh, I left my cushion on there.
Mark it out your inventory.
How are we going to continue? I thought you said something about our task being a mountain, and we've
How
stopped at
would
the
you-
village.
Yes,
thought of
Mount
mountain.
Glom. You can probably see it in the far distance.
Just to the north of us.
Those lazy ass taxi drivers could have at least taken us the entire journey. Just saying.
So we're in Maris right now.
You are
asked
currently
the,
in Maris.
Ah, yes.
okay. What
This is
happened here, Elder I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name,
Damien.
Damien.
Elder Damien. What happened here?
Well, you see, every night, 3 great beasts continue to attack and assault our village. They are cloaked in shadow, so we have limited knowledge of what they are. We know there is one of a humanoid size that is sneaky, to call it at best. There is a much larger humanoid, it carries a large club, and there seems to be one smallish dragon.
I say, I know what these are. I've come across them in my military past. They're definitely elves.
I
want to be
can
wary of
assure you they're not elves. I've never met an elf shrouded in shadow and
Yes.
impervious to steel.
Oh,
But we have established that this magic surrounding them seems to wear off as the sunlight hits them.
oh, I think I know what they are. Can I borrow a silver halberd off of any of you?
You might struggle to find riches like that in this town.
Oh, worth a try.
No,
It's
I
it,
can't
we
knock
are
that
a
out.
small village. We're not well off, I'm afraid. However, in addition to the fee paid to the Adventurers Guild, I do have this for the adventurers should they manage to deal with our problem. At which point, he takes out a small wooden box and shows you a small glass dagger.
Glass dagger, you say? Is
I-
it valuable?
I say, what use is a dagger made of glass?
At which point, he points it out the window and mutters something under his breath. At which point, a lightning bolt shoots out from the dagger.
I say, oh, okay. Maybe I could strap it to the end of my halberd.
And we only get that after we've killed the beasts?
After you've dealt with the beast, you may have my reward. This was the most valuable thing I found in my former life as an adventurer.
Alright, it's time for a
Sleight of hand check.
persuasion.
You're going to try and
I
steal
say-
it.
I say, if we had the dagger with us when we fought these beasts, there would be a much higher chance of us actually coming back alive. Unfortunately,
As your persuasion.
Some people say I'm ugly. This is out of character. Some people say I'm ugly, but they're all just racist. Which means I only have a charisma of 8.
Okay. Still, make your
Um,
persuasion roll.
Exclamation mark, roll 1d20 minus 1. Oh, 15.
Okay. And you take off 1 for your charisma. So, still, as mature as that might be, I fear that if I gave you the dagger and its triggering word, I'd never see you again.
But would me being a cleric, a good and honest Loxodon, change your mind?
Make a persuasion roll.
I'm guessing we're going to need a
Even with
natty
plus
20 for this.
3, I think you get. It's the same result.
What if me, being a renowned bard, poet,
renowned
orphanary,
Yeah,
and visionary,
I interrupt
um,
and just say renowned.
Never heard of you.
give you a performance in exchange for the pretty little dagger?
He shoots you a look dead in the eyes and just says no.
You didn't even let me roll.
I didn't need to.
Right. Is it worth? No, it's probably not. Let's move along.
Now then, I would recommend you stop by the store before you go to purchase any extra provisions you might
Is there a
need.
smithy?
There is not a
Oh.
smithy in the town, I'm afraid.
Oh,
We mainly order our guards' equipment from Iridal or possibly Godhome if we're feeling fancy.
Or I say, how about a game of Gwent? No, I don't
Well,
really.
it's
I,
store
I
then.
think I should be getting back to preparing. I'll show you to the store on the way if you'd like to go there.
Thank you
Yes,
very
please.
much. That's very kind of you, Elder Demian.
Damien.
Damien.
Oh,
Close.
old grumpy man.
Old wrinkly man will do.
I said grumpy.
Oh, sorry. He shows you to the store and departs when you're standing in front of it.
Right.
The
So
store
have a look then.
itself looks fairly undamaged.
I say, good day to you, shopkeep. Have
You might want
any
to go in first.
Oh, I say to
Okay.
the door, good day to you. I thought it was like a market stall, like an outdoor one.
No, it's a proper shop inside.
Alright, I open the door,
There you go.
enter
Okay.
the room, and I look around
Here we
amazed
go.
and say, oh my
Okay,
god.
stop. You were looking
shop.
around the room. Roll a perception check.
I'm also having a look.
Okay, also roll a perception check.
I'm standing outside in a mood, strumming my lute.
That's fine. Okay,
Perception.
what's your modifiers?
I've got a dot next to perception. Does that make a difference?
So you get 2.
Perception, well, I've got +3, but no.
So I've got a
So
total
you
of
get-
13.
So Merrick, you got the high score, 16. So Balador, as you come through the door, you notice the shopkeeper, a young man in his early 20s, thin of build with blonde hair, coming straight through from the back. However, Merrick, you notice he has swiftly covered 3 small objects on the back table with cloths as soon as you open the door.
Okay.
I look at Merrick and say, why is your trunk twitching?
From outside, I hear the sound of 3 valuable items being quickly covered with a cloth.
I never said valuable.
Mm.
Well, it's implied. I also enter and have a quick scan around the room as well.
Okay, make your perception check.
Ooh.
You didn't see them because the curtain between the front and the back was closed by the time you got there. However, as you walked in, the breeze moved it an inch, so you can see 3 small lumps covered by cloths.
Why did you
I
have to
stop
stand
looking at my
outside?
groin.
Fair
You
enough.
just come in when we walked in. You could have
So,
seen
the
that.
shopkeeper, now standing at what is functionally the register, it's a set of scales on a desk essentially, says, "How can I help you?"
I couldn't help but notice from outside.
We can't hear you.
He's coming now.
Yeah, I'm in
Yeah.
with you now.
Oh, my bad.
I couldn't help but notice you hid something from our view as we came in. Is there a reason you don't trust us?
It's not just you, my dear friends. I'm working on 3 particularly delicate items.
I
I
don't
say,
think I'd be
very good.
trustworthy.
Have you any weapons for sale?
Weapons, not so much. Generally, I sell travelling supplies and things for around the village.
Aha, excellent. I don't suppose you sell musical instruments, perchance?
I have a few. What were you thinking?
I'm very much looking to buy a ocarina.
I believe
I
I
haven't found
may
it, have
have
you?
one. He takes the ladder at the edge of the room and slides it into the back corner.
Oh, how much for the ladder?
The ladder stays, he needs it to get up and down. He climbs to the top of the storage shelves, and as he's up there, starts rummaging through a box. He calls down, just a moment, I think we have one.
You could just tell me how much it is if you
While
did.
he's-
You'd have to
They're
trouble
fine.
yourself looking for it.
They're
While
5 gold.
Oh, I would love to
Oh.
purchase one.
While he's distracted, can I try a stealth thing to have a look at these
You want to
items?
make a stealth roll? Go for it.
I mean, it's only like I'm a 6'11" orc. It's never going to
It,
notice.
it, You're in chainmail, so roll 2d. Never mind.
Oh,
It doesn't matter. I'll say, as
Wait,
far
plus-
as you
plus
know, you're hidden.
Right, okay. I lift up the sheet and have a peek.
So you're heading into the back room.
Yes.
At which point, he spins around on the ladder
Oh god, what have I done?
and fires a spell directly at you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, easy. Easy. So what do I do? 1d20?
Yeah. And a dexterity modifier.
16. Easy.
Fair enough. So,
I say, oh, I'm terribly sorry. Curiosity got the better of me. It won't happen again.
Is that not the way to the privy?
I was just to say, at which point you hear him mutter something and roll for initiative.
What? Oh no.
You
What went down?
immediately try to rob the store owner.
No, I wasn't trying to rob it. I was just trying to have a look.
He doesn't know that.
No, he doesn't. He assumes you're a thief.
All right, can I do
Oh,
a
He
Um,
also does not realise we're together.
together?
Oh, you came in last.
Still,
On a passing
making
bard.
it. Everyone make an initiative roll, and I'd
Can't
like everyone to make a perception check to see if you heard what he said under his breath. So
That's
make your
another-
perception check first. 1d20 first, and then we'll do.
Oh, 19.
Yep, you
Oh!
heard it.
Why
heard it.
can't I try and persuade him that I was
This
an
is
idiot?
something I had planned for, so no, because you're not going to persuade this particular person for a reason you'll work out soon.
19.
Oh, you heard too.
We both did. Sorry,
Right.
darling.
Now, I may be
plus
very
two.
bad at perception, but bear in mind, Mr. Balador,
Mm.
I am actually specialising in stealth. So perhaps I'm the wrong person in the party.
Fair enough. Okay,
Then I'm specialising in being chaotic. So
And we're rolling for initiative.
now roll for initiative while I fill the battle
21.
map out.
21 is my
Ah,
thingy bob, by the way. 21.
13 initiative.
Oh god, 6 plus 1, 7.
and a -1 as well.
7. Should I type 7?
It's fine. You don't have to. I was going to say that's fine. I'm just going to move this. So Minstrel came in last. Q2 was speaking to him. And he was there getting the ocarina out of the box. Oh, 2 seconds while I fill in the rest of the display.
One.
Where was the table?
I've got to
The
imagine
table
what
was
we're
here.
gonna get.
Oh, okay.
Leading to the back. You were at it negotiating. Minstrel came in last, but he wouldn't be right at the door. Door would be here. Can you guys see well enough?
Yeah.
Okay, running through pieces. Minstrel, you're number 1. I may need to move the chair so there's some light. Merrick, you're number 2. And Balador, you're number 3. Which, conveniently, Merrick, you're going last. Let's see where.
Oh, I rolled a 7.
Okay. The store owner is going first.
Oh god. But he's
I
already
heard
tried
him.
to
What did he
shoot me
say?
once.
Oh, yes. He said under his breath, "For the cold god."
Alright. I tell Minstrel that he said something racist about elephants and orcs and that he should help
You
us
can
get them.
wait for your turn before you're doing anything. So, the turn order will be Minstrel, Balador... No, Minstrel, the cultist, Balador, then Merrick.
I don't even see Merrick's roll. Oh, 3. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Right. Shoot me
Right.
again then, I guess. Mr.
Okay.
Wizard.
Minstrel, you're up first.
Okay, well, I'd like to, oh,
Oh someone's typing. That's not good.
Yeah, so I'm just adding to my notes.
Notes. Oh, I don't know. Don't know.
I would like to cast Bardic Inspiration
Okay.
on the cleric.
Oh,
So the cleric takes 1d4 inspiration dice.
have you not seen this halberd on my back? Wait, I'm not allowed to talk, am I?
Not yet. Wait for your turn. Okay. Next, rest of your turn, you can still move and have a main action.
As a main action, just give me 2 seconds.
Forgotten what spells you have, don't you?
Yeah. I would like to cast Minor Illusion.
Okay. What would you like the minor illusion to be?
I would like the sound of the cold god's voice to echo from the room behind the cultist, beckoning him forth.
And do you know what that sounds like?
I use my creativity to assume it sounds a little bit evil.
Wouldn't that be a? Can you do a religion check for that, or is that you don't do that in combat?
You could potentially make a roll, but use this bonus action. So you'll want to create some form of slightly evil voice behind him.
Yeah, beckoning him into the room.
Okay. Okay. Spell save DC is 13, I believe, correct?
Mine? Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So he can hear the sound behind him, but doesn't appear to have reacted.
Motherfucker.
You can still move.
I don't move.
Is the door shut?
The door is shut behind you.
Good. Then nobody else will ever know what's going on in there.
I stand still, quietly strung my lute, very confused and alarmed by
Okay.
the situation.
The shopkeeper is going to spend his movement getting off the ladder. Oh, nearly dropped my phone. So coming down from the ladder will cost him 10 feet of movement,
Oh, he's moved.
and then he's going to come straight back behind the desk and cast. Oh, I just closed the fucking spellbook on my tablet. It's alright. We will get this more streamlined.
Is he
Alright.
armed, by the way?
Shopkeep, do you sell? Reset aggro, we're safe, guys.
Okay, he's going to cast Ice Knife directly at Balador.
Ice knife.
Yep.
I care
So
not.
he's got to make a ranged
magical.
spell attack against your armor class.
Did we decide if it's 16 or 17?
17 it would be, because I didn't add the 1 bonus.
So I add that now.
So he gets 14.
Does that mean he has to roll an 18 to hit me?
No, he's rolled. Yeah.
Wow.
No, he'd hit
God,
you with 17.
Don't understand.
So he's rolled 14, so he doesn't hit you. So it catches the edge of your armor and slides off. Balador, you're up.
That's annoying, I say, because he's fired 2 bloody spells at me, so I'm getting pretty pissed off at this guy. I say I used my bonus action to say all I wanted to do was find out what they were. I wasn't going to bloody steal them. And hiding behind that desk won't help you anyway. And then I swing at him with me halberd.
Fair
Has
enough.
he got weapons, by the way? Is he armed in any way?
You can't see any.
So I can see his hands, and they're both empty.
Well, he's just shot a knife from one of them made of ice at you.
Okay, this concept confuses me because I'm an orc.
Fair enough.
It confuses my character as well.
Make an attack roll.
Uh,
Don't forget to add your strength and proficiency modifier.
oh dear, how do I? Oh, strength would be 3, proficiency would be another 3.
2.
Is that right? Or 2? Oh, where do I see? Oh, proficiency bonus, right? So it's +5.
So 15. That's going to hit. So roll for damage.
That's a D10.
Yep. Roll 1d10. 7. So he takes 7 points of slashing damage across his chest. Looks like it hurt.
Good. And I say, be quiet. Shut up.
Okay. Merrick, unless you want to move, Balador.
No, I'm good here.
Okay. Merrick, you're up.
I'm gonna hit him with a sacred flame.
Okay.
I think
Sacred Flame.
across the desk.
We've been using this one a lot. I really should try and memorize it.
God, when I get spells as well, this is going to be bad.
By the time you get spells, hopefully these guys will know their one.
I'm hoping that.
Okay, so he
That'll be
makes it at DC of 13, I want to say.
Yeah, 13.
And he's not making it. So roll for damage.
1d8, I think.
Yeah, 1d8. 4.
Oh.
He's dead. The fire catches the edge of his robes and he just goes up.
All right, are we out of combat now?
You are now out of combat.
Are there windows in this?
They're not proper windows, like slit ones just to let in light and fresh air.
I'm going to have a peek through the window to see if anyone's heard the ruckus.
Anyone saw?
Make a perception check.
I really wish I'd got more wisdom. Perception. 6.
As far as you can tell, no one's coming, no one heard
Oh,
anything.
it's an 8. An 8, actually. Cause
Even so.
No one heard shit.
According to Balador.
Right, I'm going to go up the ladder then and check what was in this box.
Okay.
Oh, no, it was...
That's
it
the
was-
ocarina for Chris.
Yep, you
The
take
ocarina.
down the ocarina.
Bardington.
Right, okay. Good. I'll add
He
that
was
to my inventory.
in the process of retrieving when you tried to steal his shit.
Ocarina.
I want to go back and have a look at that table.
You want to look at the table out the back.
What those things were.
I would like to greedily snatch the ocarina out of Balador's hands.
Okay.
Please tell me it's something to do with strength.
Oh.
It's like my only good ability is strength.
He's trying to take the ocarina out your hands. He needs to make a sleight of hand check, and you need to hold on to it using athletics. So both roll a d20. Tell me what you get.
13 plus 5.
18.
So 18.
18 plus 5, 23.
Balador just holds it above his head.
Jesus, plus 5 is
23.
I look at him impressed at his attempt and think maybe this guy isn't useless after all. He seems very sneaky.
Fair enough.
I sit there and I'm quietly sobbing at the loss of the ocarina.
I give him the ocarina.
Okay, it's very
Must
kind.
feel.
Okay,
Right.
coming down.
I'll delete that from my... Take back the ocarina. Take it back.
Burn it.
Right, let's get to the back.
I knew you'd found out.
So, Merrick, you have found the 3 items in the back. Under the first one was a potion of unknown origin. A ring was under the second, and a small circlet was under the third.
Okay.
Right. Oh, can I check? Is it?
Yep. Which one do you want to check?
I think I look at the circlet and think how pretty it is and how nice it would look on my head, and I would like to do well, whatever it is I need to do.
So roll on a card and a check to see if you can see if it has any magical properties. Yep.
That is a 21.
Okay. As you pick it up, you feel, just from the edge of your fingers touching it, a general understanding and comprehension coming to you of any language you heard.
Right. I put it back down.
All of a sudden, you understand shit.
I'm actually quite a smart orc.
It's, yeah. You understand.
I turn to our resident charmer and say, this item here appears to make you speak any language you want.
No, not quite. Allow me to give the explanation since you finished it. The item allows you to understand anything said, regardless of what language it's in. You can't speak the language back.
Right. Well, that's what I say to
Yeah.
Mr. Charmy, who I assume is Chris, although I don't actually know which one of you has a higher charisma.
He's a barding, so my charisma's 10.
Yeah, I mean, you are a 8-foot tall elephant. So... right. I mean, my intelligence is quite high, so should I check the others? I say to... Wait,
I'd
how
like
would
to
I
have
say?
a look at the.
Sorry, that was
potion.
bad RP. I'm very smart. Do you want me to see if I can find out what these other items do?
Yeah, I want to know what that potion does.
Alright, I'll do a Arcana on the potion.
Okay.
Or do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it?
Oh no, go ahead.
3.
Fine.
You're not sure what it does. It looks pretty.
Annoyed at not being able to work out what this potion does, I
think
give up
I,
and go back into the other room.
I better have a look at it myself then.
Fair. 15. You establish it has some form of anti-magic properties. You also assume, based on how it's sealed at the top, it's pressurized to disperse into some form of cloud. So, next to the potion, add Dispel Cloud.
By the way,
if
I
you're
haven't picked
taking it.
up the circle.
No, it's still on the table.
Yeah.
Minstrel's
that potion
not
then.
said anything for a while.
Alright, I'll check the... No, wait, I've given
What was
up.
the potion, sorry?
So it's a Dispelling Cloud potion.
I'm going to pick that up.
Okay. That's fine. And finally, there's the ring. If anyone wants to look at it, or you can leave.
I'd like to take a look at the ring.
Okay, make an Arcana check. Three. You can't even tell it's a ring.
You don't even know what it is.
Alright, I've decided. I wonder aloud how I couldn't guess what that potion was and assume that I was tricked in some way by the Elephant Man. And I've set to prove my intelligence by trying to work out what the ring is.
Okay.
Control V.
20.
22.
You got it perfect. No, critical success. So, as soon as you pick up the ring, its effects activate, and you can look through the walls. This is a ring of X-ray vision.
Oh, very useful. I put it on.
Okay. Merrick, you took the potion,
The potion. We don't know what that.
and the
circlet does,
circlet,
do we?
I assume you're going to pass to Minstrel.
What does it do?
It lets you understand any language.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why not? I'll take the circlet.
Does that go
One
in?
can
It goes with my noble background, you see.
Does that go in gem? Stone.
Gem thingies.
So, ring
In your
will go in
equipment,
equipment if you're equipping it.
Okay. Equipment. Right. Ring. What's it called?
Ring of
Relevance?
X-ray vision.
Ring of...
What should I list the circlet as?
Circle of comprehend language.
There we go.
Okay.
I say to the elephant. I say to
Look at the
Merrick.
corpse.
I say to Merrick. By the way, I'm sorry for doing all this. My bad.
While those guys are chatting away
Done
amongst
is done.
themselves, I start analysing the corpse and rifling through his pockets.
Good call. So, going through his pockets, roll. You find another ring,
Oh.
as well as a small piece of paper with the word Thursa scrawled on side of it,
Sorry,
and
say
a
the word
drawing
again.
of a fountain with a small mark circled.
What did the paper say on it, sorry?
Thursa. T-H-E-R-S-A.
T-H-E-R-S-A.
And has a drawing of a fountain with a certain mark circled.
Okay. Can I just do a check on my ring, see if it's got any magical properties, please?
Go ahead. 14. Okay. The ring, you can tell, is definitely enchanted. However, you're not entirely sure of what it does.
Excellent.
Can I have a look?
I hold the ring in my hands and go over to Merrick and ask him to also take a look.
By the way, how the fuck am I the smartest one in the party when I'm an orc fighter?
It happens.
Ah,
12.
no.
You can
Passes
tell
me
it's
by.
also magic.
I sigh deeply and I walk over to Balador and ask him to also take a look at the ring.
Right, I gesture for you to put it in my hand.
I put it back in my pocket and walk away.
Oh,
very untrusting.
Fair enough.
It's a giant orc.
You can have a look at it at a later date if you like, or you can ask someone to appraise it.
what else? What else was there? There was something
Or
else.
you can rethink your decision.
Paper with Fursa with a drawing of a fountain on it with a symbol.
I look at the piece of paper and I say, "This says Teresa." Spelled.
But it's in my pocket. How are you looking at it?
Well,
Yeah, he took it off the course while you were...
I
As well.
I take the paper out and I hand it to Balador.
Fair
I
enough.
say, "This looks like it says Teresa, but it's spelt wrong." And there's a picture of a fountain on it. Or am I
That's
wrong?
where Teresa lives.
The paper.
That's in your treasure now. It's not in my inventory.
Right. Can I do a I don't know, memory or something to see if I remember there being a fountain in this town when we walked through it? Village?
You haven't been through it.
Right. Okay. So that's a no then.
That would be a no. You've not been there before.
All right. I'm gonna roll up the till then.
I suggest Balador hands it back to me so I can cast a history. Use a history check to determine if that's a well-known fountain or not. I would know from my noble background.
That's
Okay.
very, very smart of you, but I am smarter than you, so maybe I should do it. We don't do persuasion checks against each other, do we?
No, you just have to discuss it.
I am proficient in history.
Is it called?
As am I.
Yeah, I mean, I got a +4 for history.
God.
Is that? Am I playing? Am I role playing wrong there? I just give him the paper.
Alright, you've
Right.
got the paper. You were looting the till last time I
Right.
checked.
Yes, I'm gonna look the till. Yeah.
You find 36 copper, 17 silver, and 2 gold.
I say to Merrick, well, to be fair, we should split this evenly, and I give Merrick half of it. And keep the other half.
Thank you.
So you've now given me some horrible maths. So that's 6 gold each,
6 gold.
8.5 silver?
That would be 8 silver, 50 copper, right?
Yeah, but the coins are what the coins are. You
Okay, I'm
can't
just gonna
cut them
take
in
a gold
half.
piece. I'm gonna give Merrick half, take 1 gold piece, and give Chris all the coppers because I can't be asked.
Fair enough. So, Minstrel, you get 36 copper. Balador,
Yay.
you get 17 silver and 1 gold. And Merrick, you've come away with this with 11 gold.
Oh, thank you very much.
I look at Balador and I just want to confirm you have still got that piece of paper in your backpack, haven't you?
No, it's still in my hand.
Okay.
Okay, good. Phew. I was just very concerned that
It's just make sure you
You're
note it
wasted.
in your inventory. Is what you're trying to do.
Oh, I see. Right, okay. Do I put that in, I guess, equipment, right?
Treasure.
Oh, bloody hell.
That's
Treasure.
for your inventory sheet. This is why you have one.
Miscellaneous?
Yeah, Thurson note will do.
There's fountain.
Note.
Probably good. No.
You didn't steal the fountain.
Oh,
Be an
nice.
impressive job.
There we go.
did we get sorry, out of roleplay for a second. Did we get any experience for that, Cal?
I'll keep track of that and we'll do it at rests.
Right. Seeing as we're all new to this, I'm just going to do a history check on the note.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that
Don't
annoy anyone?
do an history. Do insight for me if you're trying to think about it.
Oh god. Oh god. Okay. Is that
One.
And then I.
You can remember there's a note.
No wait, it's
It's
not
a critical
one,
fail.
It's 0 actually.
I wouldn't
Worse
mind
than a
having look at,
critical
I
fail.
wouldn't mind having a look at the note with my +3 proficient insight.
I can't help but notice Balador, after thinking about the note, has a slight nosebleed.
So if you
I say,
give me
of
the note,
course,
I can have a look.
Say, of course, my good man. If it's not evident, I kind of look up to the other man a little.
I'll give it back if it comes out.
I just give it straight to him.
Ooh,
19.
plus whatever, +3.
You can determine immediately this is the note with a word on it and a fountain. You haven't been there before, so you assume the fountain is in the city and that this symbol leads to something. That's what you got.
Okay.
Oh,
Not
I
for
know.
me.
Who's got the
Figure that
I say out loud. Who picks up that ring that makes you speak or hear all
The
languages? Read all
circlet.
'Twas I, the trusty
Why
bard.
Why don't you don the
See
circlet?
if you can
I
understand
am wearing
word.
the circlet.
Oh right, it's your beautiful golden lock.
It apparently made no difference when I read it. It's a language I do know, but I don't know the meaning
It
of.
is a proper noun.
Yay!
There we go. Everyone happy?
Okay.
Yes.
And what about these beasts? No,
I put my hand up.
Some cultist.
With years of only training to become a bard, with the question, "What's a proper noun?"
A place name.
I nod gently in sudden comprehension.
And I say, I knew that all along.
Mm.
And then quickly change the conversation to, is there anything else to loot in this shop?
Technically, all the supplies are still on the wall.
What's in it? Actually,
There are loaves of bread, there is rope, there is odds and ends you might find in your average village store, including some decorative wooden ducks.
Oh, I'll take a duck. I'll take some bread.
Take
Take a
some
loaf.
bread. Okay.
I think I've already got. I've probably got enough. I don't want to be lugging myself down with loads of rope.
Fair enough.
Is there any thing to start fires with?
There's a tinderbox.
Okay. Do I have that in my explorer's backpack? I guess I already do, don't I?
Let's have a look what's in your explorer's backpack. Explorer's pack. You get a tinderbox, a mess kit, a bedroll, a backpack, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, a water skin, and 50 foot of hempen rope.
Nice. Alright, the only thing I'm interested in trying to find is alcohol.
There is some cheap wine on one of the shelves in clay jars.
Nice. I take myself a couple of jars of wine then.
Okay. Add that to your inventory.
Having determined the shopkeep was a cultist, I'd like to have a quick scan round for anything like a hidden door or.
Make a perception roll.
Perception +2, so 17.
You can't see anything. Trying several floorboards, you do notice they're loose, but it's just an old building.
Fuck you.
guess there's nothing in here then.
Right. I turn to my colleagues, my adventurer colleagues, and say, how are we going to get out of this shop without alerting the guards and getting in a lot of trouble?
Stealth my way out of the back, please.
Okay, make a stealth roll. And there's no back door.
Out the front.
Yeah.
Out the way I came, please.
Alright, I'm
Two.
peering,
Plus
peering,
3, 5, plus 2, 7.
I'm
Seven
peering out the
total.
window watching this.
You walk straight out the front door and bump into Guard Captain Philip.
Oh.
Oh, hello, Card. Guard Captain! Guard Captain Phil. How fares the day?
You quickly close the door behind you as he goes, not too bad. Just making quick patrol rounds before I take a rest before the evening watch.
Sounds
Would you
like
care
a
to
plan,
join me at the
Skipper.
tavern?
Oh, I'd love to. I'll bring my ocarina.
Yeah, you can go right now.
Where did you get that ocarina?
Doesn't ask that. He's a bard. That's a reasonable statement. So, Minstrel and the guard captain have gone over to the tavern. Balador and Merrick, what are you up to?
Is there
I
any?
think I might
Who's
as well
outside?
just leave and
What is?
go to the tavern.
Good call.
Try and find Bardington.
All right, I follow John, Merrick.
Okay. So, you all arrive over at the tavern. There is a... Oh, God. I'm going to put up the sheet. That's why I can't remember them all. There's a terrible noise.
Very windy.
Sounds like the-
There is a pretty young halfling behind the bar. And there is one young girl running around serving drinks. And an
Young as
old
in-
drunk man at the bar ordering drinks very quickly.
Are these
Young as
very
in-
high-ceilinged buildings? So I'm
It-
really
it's
tall walking through this.
You're having to dodge the chandeliers, but you're okay.
Okay.
Oh, chandeliers, fancy.
Well, I say chandeliers.
Shitty wooden
Old,
ones.
yeah. Old cart things with, like, candles stuck on them.
Somehow, in the time it took the other two of my party to catch up, I'm already on my fourth beer.
Okay.
the guards.
Are you chatting to the guard captain? Sure.
Oh, yeah.
He's very quickly going to remark about how much you're drinking, considering you're supposed to be setting off before nightfall.
Ah, don't be silly.
Don't.
We all drink like this in the
Okay.
where
And
I'm from.
Also, please remember, until you sober up, you have no proficiency bonus.
Do they
Is that
serve
what the
coffee?
girl
I
says?
suddenly have a moment of clarity in my head.
Just splash me
And
in the
Switch to
face.
water.
Realised if I drink much more, I might divulge certain incriminating evidence to the guard. So I decide it's best to wet my whistle with non-alcoholic beverages. But still,
Crystal.
being a performance expert, I will pretend I'm still drinking because I want to fit in with the tavern peeps.
After a brief chat, the guard finishes his drink and heads off to have his afternoon nap
All right,
before
I'm
his
gonna
night
just-
shift.
I'm going to look at the young girl and say, "Tavern wench, bring me a beer, please."
The young girl, clearly terrified of the giant half-orc, immediately grabs a pitcher, drops it in front of you on
while
the
she's-
table, and runs.
Fine.
Not
I
any jollies
noticed
this
it.
time.
Having previously been drinking on the guard's money and go and nosy up next to the half orc, thinking it might get my drinks paid for if he orders for me.
Right.
Fair
well,
enough.
she didn't take any money off me.
It's not the biggest
the-
one here.
The
Yeah.
cat,
She was too scared.
as I say, the bar mistress will deal with that at the end.
Right. Well,
She's, you can see her clearly
So
noting
really-
down what you're having
Drink
to
up
drink.
and get a move on. Pay her later.
I'm just going to ask the landlady if she knows anything about these three beasts that are.
Okay. So, the tavern keeper immediately introduces herself. Hello, I'm Demilda.
Hello, Demilda. I'm Balador Backbiter, son of Pimpskin Backbiter and Balador the Doughty, or Doughty. I don't know how to pronounce that. How are you?
I'm quite well. How goes the day? Are you enjoying the ale? We brew it ourselves.
I say I haven't tried it yet, and then I have a sip, and I say it's a bit too hoppy for me. I prefer a more traditional ale.
Different
Bloody
tastes, I
hell.
suppose, out here in the country.
Fancy walk.
I'm sitting next to the half orc, listening in on this conversation, when I suddenly realise, being the young old age of 18, I start thrusting my scroll of pedigree in the barkeep's face, going, "I swear I'm old enough to drink. I swear."
What have you
Roll
been
a-
drinking?
It's fine, dear. You only have to be 16 to get a drink around here, and we vary it depending on race.
All right. I
Right.
say I gesture to my companions and say we three are adventurers from the town of insert town name here,
Iradal.
Iridel, and we've been hired by your guard captain and your elder to defeat these three beasts. Do you know anything about these three beasts? All they could tell us was that they don't like daylight.
Well, my husband might know a little more. He's currently serving in the guards since most of them were killed. He usually works at the brewers. However, from what he's told me, he says, really, the one to watch out for is the dragon.
I say, is this dragon sentient, or do I already know that dragons are sentient? Or I guess I know that
You'd
already.
have some basic knowledge of dragons, and you'd know that mostly they tend to be intelligent, but their personalities vary based on their colour.
I say, well, that's called racial profiling. Not a fan of that. No, I don't. I say, very good. I guess we'll try and find your husband. Is he in the barracks then, or?
He'll be standing watch at the forest gates. At about this time, he'll be back shortly.
And how do we get to these forest gates?
Oh, it's very simple. From here, it's straight down towards the forest, and there's only one exit to the village. You'll spot it nice and easily. At
Right.
which point, the drunk next to you starts muttering, "Don't go in the forest. Terrible, terrible magic wood."
Magic wood.
I glanced
it
at my
like?
Know
crotch.
anything about it?
Do you want to ask the drunk?
Mumbling drunk. I would like to.
So you come up to the old man at the end of the bar. He's about 50, maybe 60, bald on top. And he's sitting there, head resting on the bar next to his mug of ale.
Well, tell me more about this forest. Why is it so bad?
I got lost in there for so long. All I kept coming back to was the same sign in some gibberish. No matter how...
What was I to say?
Do you remember?
I
what the
don't
gibberish was?
remember, you dopey twat.
I sort of as subtly as I can take out the note and show him the word that's written on there and say, "Does this mean? Do you recognise this? Does this mean anything to you?"
To me, that's a town on the other side of the mountain.
Oh, it's a town. It's the name of a town.
Yes, does say Thyrsus is on the other side of Mount Glom. We don't go there very often. Not a very nice place. All clean and new and stone. It's terrible.
I say, "Well, thank you very much. You've no idea how much it means to me, this information." And I offered to buy him a beer.
Ah, very kind. He immediately necks his drink and pushes his mug forward for a refill.
How much is this costing him?
The beer's relatively cheap here. You're in the middle of the country town.
But you can only get fucking Foster's and Courage Best.
Fair enough. Yes, no, to the... Now, as I
Go
was
find-
saying,
what's his
the
name?
magic path which goes on forever is to the northwest of the town's exit.
What would be the easiest way to get to Thursa?
Either straight over or around Mount Glom, I suppose.
I don't think going over a mountain would be very easy, you silly drunk.
Depends how tall you are. As he drinks half the new mug of ale.
Is there any way through the mountain?
I believe there used to be a path through the old fort, but that's been long since abandoned.
And only elves can open it with the moonlight.
Speak French.
That's dwarvish.
Melon.
Get your references right.
Which fort are you referring to, sir?
Ask the guards, they'd know about it.
Yeah, we need to go speak to one anyway.
Right, let's go to the...
Now remember, stay away from the northwest or be stuck on that path forever.
Okay.
Right,
Noted.
I say to Merrick, should we go and find this guard at the forest gate then?
Yes, please.
At which point, as you are leaving, Demelda briefly catches up with you and says, and that'll be 13 silver for your drinks today.
I
13
didn't drink anything, so
Is that like,
Nope, it's all going straight to Minstrel and Balador, who've been stopped.
is that 1.3 gold then? 13.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
it's 100
Woman.
silver for gold.
100 silver for a gold.
I was under the impression my drinks were on the guard captain I was with.
Oh, whatever would have given you that idea? Well, I can catch up with him later. So that brings your total down to the jug and the round you bought. Good old Tom. 8 gold.
8 gold?
8 silver.
Alright,
Sorry.
I chuck,
800%.
I chuck her a gold piece and say, keep change.
Very
You filthy
generous,
animal.
sir. I shall see you
Little
next
does
time
she
you
know
come.
that-
As she looks
little
at
does
the
she know
gold
that-
coin.
Little does she know that I just murdered a man for that gold piece. Who could very well be one of her friends.
Who's a cultist?
Fair
They
enough.
don't seem like cultists.
Right.
It
to the
dawned on me
forest.
we probably should have reported that to the guard, considering he was indeed a cultist and we didn't murder an innocent shopkeeper. But
Well, we
Well,
can
I
think
assume-
You're
about that.
currently heading to the forest
the other
gates.
guy.
I assumed that everybody in this town was cultists.
Well, we need to go find that other guy. Maybe if we judge him to be a sound character, we can tell him about it.
Fair enough. Okay. So you come to the forest gates. Standing watch is a chubby halfling and a young dragonborn.
Ooh.
Dragonborn?
Yes.
What's the... I'll look it up.
Dragonborns are lizard people. More humanoid, no tail.
It's a little tiny halfling. And
Oh,
a-
I see, yeah. Like the
lizard
Red
man.
Prince. Basically, the Red Prince.
Yeah, the Red Prince, but without a tail.
Okay.
Some of these
So-
Dragonborns I'm looking at have got tails.
They shouldn't. Lizard folk have tails, dragonborns no tails.
Right, okay. I say, I turn to the Dragonborn and I say, greetings, Dragonborn. Because obviously I know he's a Dragonborn.
Fair enough.
I am Balador Backbiter. Who are you?
Hello, he says in a high-pitched teenager's voice. As it turns out, he's about 13 to 15 years old at most. And he's blue. He's got blue scales, and he introduces himself. Hello, my name is Reki Goldscale. I was the weaver till we ran out of guards. He's standing there in his very light armour with 2 small daggers.
Were the guards killed by the 3 beasts?
They were indeed.
Has
I had
anyone
assumed,
lived?
but I thought- so,
We've
Fought
been
the
doing
beast
quite
and lived.
well so far. Now we know to keep an eye out for the sneaky bastard. We tend to get away with fewer casualties.
I'd like to introduce myself to this young Dragonborn, but I'd like to address him in his native tongue
Uh-oh,
to
so
leave a
somebody
better
can't-
impression.
Draconic?
Draconic, please.
Okay. So what would you like to say to him in Draconic?
I'd like to say, hello, I'm Minstrel Bardington III.
He now looks at you and says, Ah, yes, unfortunately I don't speak Draconic myself. I was raised here by the villagers when they adopted me.
Fuck you. I say
Care about his
Draconic.
own heritage.
You've basically white privileged him. He didn't understand the words you said, he knew it was Draconic.
Right, I say we've been sent here by the landlady of the what's the pub called?
Whatever the tavern was.
From the
Come on.
tavern. The tavern will be fine.
The landlady of the tavern to find out about. Do you know what? I can't actually remember.
At which point,
There's a husband here somewhere.
the halfling standing on the other side pipes up and said, Ah, that'll be Demelda. What did you say you wanted?
I look at him in complete shock. Demelda's a human, right?
No, Demelda's a halfling.
Oh, right, okay. In that case, it probably makes sense. Never mind.
These little tiny people.
Yeah,
Hobbit,
say,
basically.
I say I've heard you have some information about the three beasts. We've been sent here from the Adventurers Guild, and we are going to slay them.
Yes. Now then, here's what we know so far. I'd much rather be back in the brewery, but at the same time, we have established one of them has taken up residence in the old fort in the forest.
Do you
The
know
others,
what
we're
it
not
is?
entirely sure where they're coming from. We believe
I-
it may be further afield.
I interject the conversation and go, was one of them running a shop here? I ask, innocently.
No, Thomas runs the shop. He moved here about 3 months before all this trouble started.
Oh
He
yes,
regrets
Thomas,
it
a good
greatly.
man. A good man. Very good man.
Brilliant man, lovely. He
Nevertheless.
sells some good wares.
Yeah, he's a lovely man whom I've never met before.
By the way, Craig, just going out of character for a second, do I know this fort? Is this fort relevant to me?
This fort is not relevant to you.
Right, so it's
This
not that.
this is an old abandoned fort which has been filled by monsters,
It's
as far as you know.
Right off at the bottom of the little island, really,
Okay.
we're on. It's like a tiny little.
You're on
shoot
you're on the way left of the map.
right in the west, right
Right.
on the coast.
I say, possibly something risky to say, but do you know any, or does the name? I see where you guys are taking notes.
Yeah.
What's the name of
Fursa.
the fucking cult?
Oh,
The cold god is
the
all you
cold-
got from it.
it's, from what
Does
he
the-
said
does-
was for the cold god.
Does
That's
the
what he
name the
attacked us.
Cold God mean anything to you?
Not something I've heard myself. Is
Right.
this a shrine you're looking for?
I want to do a perception check to see if he's lying.
Insight.
Insight to see if fuck, it's another wisdom based. Everything's wisdom based.
It's insight to see if someone's lying.
I am quite
15.
wise.
15 minus no, minus 0.
Minus 0. 15. He's being honest. He seems genuinely confused.
Right. I look at Merrick as if
Hmm.
just to sort of imply that it was his plan to fess up about our murder.
It's not my plan, but should we?
I mean, we
Whispering
can't-
discussion. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
I say no, we shouldn't. I say we keep it a secret. Although
What
they are
about you,
going to know it was
Bardington?
us.
Now, I will put my hands up in this situation and say I had absolutely nothing to do with that murder. It was purely instigated by Balador, so
The
what he
guard?
does...
It was instigated by the man himself.
The guard,
Yeah.
now staring at you with your hands in the air for some reason, says, "What murder?" Yeah.
I didn't whisper, the alcohol's still coming out of my system, you see.
Right. Okay. I say I look angrily at. I will remember it.
Minstrel.
Minstrel.
Look angrily at Minstrel and say, "Well, there's been a bit of an issue with your friend, the shop owner."
I wouldn't call him my friend. What's he done now? He's been doing some weird things since he
I
got
think
here.
I'm gonna walk closer to this little halfling. I'm gonna go stand right in front of him.
Well, what he's done, I'm afraid, is shuffled off his mortal coil.
He died.
Um,
How did that happen?
Well,
He
it was.
attacked us.
He attacked you.
He attacked us.
All right, I'll let Merrick take over because
Okay.
he's a
He
cleric.
attacked us. We
What
had no
what
choice.
happened?
All we did was walk in there for provisions. And
And we heard a disembodied voice refer to him as a cultist.
yeah, and my friend here, old Balador, just
Yeah.
wandered a bit too far near a room, and then Thomas turned around and attacked us.
Oh dear. Well,
We had no
he
choice.
was only here for a short while.
He
Oh.
was a shit.
Can you pass that on to the guards,
This is a guard.
like to the captain, man?
Well, I will speak
Tell
with the
him.
guard captain and we will search his private quarters. See if there's anything. You'll be
No,
coming back this
we
way.
already checked.
Let us know if you find anything.
We'll let you know what we find.
That's fine.
Right.
by
We
me.
will be bringing this issue up again if we can't find anything. Of course, when you return from your glorious campaign.
And on the matter of the campaign,
and we will
where are
return.
these beasts?
So, At the moment, we believe the large humanoid is holding residence in the fort. However, the dragon seems to come from a much further away, as we've seen it flying over the course of the mountain. We're not sure about the small humanoid.
Okay.
I say, in order to get to the fort or the town of Thursa, do we have to go through the magical forest, or is there another way?
The forest
We're
is
surrounded
not
by forest,
magical.
I think.
Please tell me you are not speaking with the drunk in the tavern.
No, I'm actually a historian of these areas, and I know it to be magical. So don't try and
The
fuck me
forest
up, sir.
is not magic. The old drunk walked round in a circle on
Next
some
you're gonna
path.
tell me 5G
Got
towers
lost.
and no.
So it
Right,
might be worth
so-
having a look over to the west, where the drunk said he got lost.
Right.
If you
so
want to find the fort, head to the northeast. If you want to find the rest of the forest, it's the northwest. It's not too simple. There are two paths out of the
which way
village you
to-
can see behind me.
which is the best way to get to Thursa?
No, we forget about that for now. We don't want to go there yet. We need to kill these beasts.
To get to the beast, you'd want to head to the northeast.
We know that big guy's at the fort.
Yes.
So I would suggest we go there first and
Agreed.
I
Try
might
and,
suggest if you wanted to do the northwest, do that first.
The northwest being
The
Thursa.
where the drunk got lost.
Oh, that in the forest still, isn't it?
If you want to do that first, that's where you're going. There's no... I didn't put a way back.
I'm confused. I say to Merrick, you
Essentially,
decide, mate.
you'll be going into the fort, and from there, if you want to carry on forward, you'd have to go through... This is the guard, sorry. Once you go to the fort, there'll be a path to get through the mountain. It's hidden somewhere. We don't remember quite where. It's been abandoned for some years.
So we do want to go to the fort, and then
The fort will
would that
take
be
you
your
forward.
suggestion? Yeah.
You won't be able to come back necessarily.
So we will have to go through the mountain.
Well,
Yeah.
we don't want to come back because we murdered a man in this town.
If we go through the mountain, can we go through the mountain to Thursa?
The path will bring you out to the forest on the other side. You should be able to get from Thursa from there.
The magic
Okay.
forest.
No, the forest on the other side of the mountain. The
I
magic
say-
forest is to the northwest, if you
I
believe
say-
that old drunk.
I say, well, thank you for the information, good sir. Just one more thing. We are only 3. I've noticed you have a strong, strapping dragonborn here. Would he like to come on an adventure with us?
Unfortunately, we need his good eyes to spot for the dragon and the stealthy little cunt.
There's not many guards left, so I'm sure we'd have to stay.
Right,
Exactly.
well, we'd best be off then.
Okay. Which way are you heading? You got
To the
two
magic
paths.
forest.
The
We need to
northeast
Beast.
towards the fort, or to the northwest where the drunk said he got lost in a magic forest.
I don't want to get lost in a magic forest. I believe the drunk, personally. I say to Merrick.
I don't believe him, but
I
we need
say
to kill
to
some
Minstrel.
beasts.
I
That's
say to Minstrel. Well, you. I suppose you should have a opinion as well. What do you think?
How close are we to the magic? The forest.
The forest starts almost immediately after the village. So you
So-
could join either path where it splits.
If I just step into the boundary of the forest, would I then? Let me just double check. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Fuck that. Never mind.
You're gonna cut the forest, okay? What, one tree or the ground? Or... Right. I say. I believe we should just go to the fort, as that's what we've been hired to do.
That's our
I
duty.
agree. I'm very eager to
Okay.
learn to make weapons. So the
Before-
sooner.
Heading straight for the fort.
Before we go, I suppose we killed the shop guy, so I can't get any bacon. Can we?
No, you cannot. You also left the store with a dead body in it.
He's got some rations, but
And
we have
you
told these
leave.
guys, so maybe when we come back, we...
I got bread and wine. Oh, that would
You
be
have
good.
rations.
we,
Um,
might,
let's
we
go.
might be able to come back. We've told one of the guards now.
Okay, as you exit the village, heading to the northwest. No, sorry, I wrote this down for a reason. I have a map. Heading to the northeast, I had it right. You start following the woods through a small trail that leads slowly, getting deeper and deeper into the forest. Small animals can be heard nearby, and then as you come along the path, there is two strange dog-like creatures standing in the middle of the path, fighting with one another over a corpse of a deer.
Oh dear.
They haven't seen you yet. What do you want to do?
I point at the dog-like creatures and say, "Careful, there's dogs."
How big are they?
They look to be about 5 foot tall. If they were stood on their hind legs.
Okay.
Jesus, so like Great Danes.
Pretty big, but
They're
not for
fair.
us.
Do you want to make a perception check to see what you can work out?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Roll a perception check.
I would also like to make a perception check.
Damn.
3.
What about
You can tell
nature?
they look like dogs.
Can I do a nature check? See what breed of dog they are.
Ah, 20. Never mind. It's alright. He got it.
Okay.
Minstrel, you have heard tale of these creatures. They are known as gnolls. They, whilst appearing very dog-like,
You know, take candle.
basically, yeah,
No, that's
they
common.
They are known to stand upright and carry weapons. They are generally unintelligent and not very friendly.
I say, well, there's only one thing we can do here.
I start gently playing at my ocarina.
Gently.
They immediately notice the terrible ocarina playing and spin round to attack. Please roll for initiative.
Yeah.
Thanks, Minstrel.
19, hell yeah. Wait, 20.
20? Okay.
20, yeah. Not a natural
Mine's-
20.
No, I got 13, so I'm -1 initiative.
Oh, you can do that. You can do +3. I didn't know you could
Yeah,
do that.
I just looked it up. Dice Maiden supports it. It's quite handy.
I'll give you a handy.
There's actually a better bot, but now's not the time.
We can come to that at a later date.
That sounds fine.
Okay, so the big circles are trees. You're on the
Okay.
path.
Oh,
Okay,
open the
let's
camera.
roll for the two monsters and see where they fit. 12 and 14. Do they get a plus? I can't remember. No.
I do wish I had something to do other than just hit
Plus 1.
things.
Okay, so the turn order will be Balador, Minstrel, Null 1, Merrick, Null 2.
Okay.
Right. How far away am I? 30 feet.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet.
Right, I'd like to move.
Sorry,
I
you're
mean-
that one. Yeah, 25.
So I get a bonus action. Throwing a hand axe is a main action, right?
Yeah, it's an attack.
So bonus action would be what
For-
exactly?
For example, calling out to your allies.
Oh, I see. Right.
There are some abilities you have which act as bonus actions.
Like cantrips. Right.
No, cantrips are spells. They are a main action. There are some you can cast as a bonus action, depending on your class.
I knew that. I see no reason not to just charge.
Sure.
Charge within halberd range, so not right next to him.
Halberd range. So there. Oh no. Do you want to attack number 1 or number 2?
Yes.
Okay, number 1. Just make my life easier.
Right. Roll.
1d20 to
plus-
attack.
Is it +5?
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 is your total plus.
Oh god, I got the. God, I'm terrible at this. Player popped out. Good. Now what?
1d20.
Camera. Control V. plus 5.
15. You
Oh.
just connect. Roll 1d10 plus 3.
It's actually easier just to add it. Oh, actually
210.
easier just-
Close.
it's actually easier
9.
just to add it up. Fuck me, that's 12. No, 11.
No, you
12.
didn't add the 3. Yeah, 12.
Huh.
Okay, so you
Um,
make a nice solid cut across its chest. It's looking pretty angry with you. Merrick, you're up. No, Minstrel, sorry.
Yeah.
How far away are they from me?
From you,
That's 30 feet.
25 feet.
Fuck me. That spell's
Is
useless.
that a bonus action or a main action? Fucking you.
Main action, and you moved, so that's the end of your turn.
I want to cast Bardic Inspiration on Balador.
Okay, Balador, add 1d4. Ends
Matt
at the end of combat.
Merrick loses his now, doesn't he? 'Cause
Yeah,
I've
it's
cast
gone by
someone
now.
else.
1d4 into inspiration. Is that
Yep. It clears at the end of combat.
okay?
And then I'd like to. 1 second. Check the range. I'd like to cast Vicious Mockery on the one that's closest. To-
Number 2.
Yeah, on number 2, please.
Okay, you've got the spell up, right? What's the saving throw? Is it Wisdom?
Wisdom, yeah.
Yeah, and your spell save is 13, correct?
Spell save 13, yep.
It's not going to make it, so roll the damage. It's down the bottom of the page, I believe, for you.
Do what?
So roll for damage.
How much your damage?
What's the
It's
damage?
1d8.
1d8. You sure?
Oh no, 1d4, sorry.
I thought so. 1. So it looks at you annoyed. Now, next we have
One of the
Null 1. So he's going to take out his spear.
Spear?
Yes, he has a spear. And he's going to attack back to Balador.
Cheater.
You have to roll
Gets
high.
a total of 19.
Ooh.
So he makes the hit, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I've 17 is my thing
Yep.
as well.
And his damage rolls at 2. So you take 2 damage.
Not too bad.
He pokes me. He gets me straight in the stomach, but luckily my chainmail stops most of it. Just the tip sort of grazes my belly.
Just
and
the tip.
Just the tip. I get very annoyed, so I put that in current hit points. Don't I?
So current hit points go down from 12 to 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. No worries. Okay, Merrick, you're up next. He's not going to move.
I'm going to cast a Sacred Flame on number 1.
Sacred Flame on number 1. Wisdom throw?
Yeah, 13.
13, yep. He's not making that, so roll for damage, 1d8.
Ooh, 7.
7. Nice. So that's a grand total
Smash.
of 17 done. Okay, he's burned quite badly. Not downed yet, unfortunately.
Is
Now,
this the one
do you want to move?
That's the one that
me?
stabbed you, yeah.
Right. Okay. So far he's been hit with a halberd and
Burned.
shot with it.
Burn.
Right.
Yeah.
And whatever Chris did, mocked.
No,
I
that was the other
mocked
one.
it. I mocked the other one, so it's now got a disadvantage on its next attack roll, I believe.
Yes, it does. Speaking of which, Merrick, do you want to move?
No,
You're
I'll
hit.
stay. I'm safe, yeah.
Okay. So we're now going to come to Null 2, who's now going to charge for the one who just mocked it and make a bite attack. Rolls a 9.
Ah, 9!
And it's against Minstrel. What's your AC?
14.
Nope, gets nothing but air.
14 AC. That's pretty high for a bard, isn't it? What are
He
you
gets his
wearing?
dex bonus.
Oh, I see. So he dived out of the way. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Dodged
Okay,
it.
so back to the top of the round. It is Balador.
Kill
Right.
it.
I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but is it a bonus action to pull the spear out of his hands, or is that like a
You
main
can
action?
try to grapple and disarm as your main action.
Would there be any way of killing him with his own spear in one turn?
No.
Right. I'm going to. After he pokes the spear at my belly, I'm going to hold. I'm not going to try and grab it. I'm just going to hold the spear, drop my halberd, pull out my longsword, and slash at him. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can do that. So make
Okay,
an
I'm gonna
attack roll. Add
So
5.
I've moved up right next to him, and I'm like right in his
Yeah.
face.
So you've come there.
Yeah, because I'm pissed off at this guy. Right. Roll a.
D20.
Five.
Add 5.
9. Oh,
No,
God.
not going to hit, I'm afraid. He ducks
Right.
under your swing, and just his breath smells awful. It's right in your face now.
Yeah, well, mine smells awful as well.
We're not
Fair
down
enough.
to not. We're fighting over a corpse. Stinks.
So, Minstrel, you're up next.
I think the one right in front of me, the number 2.
Mhm.
I'd just like to thrust it with my rapier.
Okay, so make an attack roll. I think you add 5 total,
On D20
plus 5.
plus 5.
12. Unfortunately, not going to hit.
Man.
You can still...
I don't move by getting an athletic stance.
Okay,
Come on.
next up we have Kobold 1, who is going...
Kobold?
No, sorry, I keep doing that.
Simple.
Who is going to make a bite attack at point blank range against Balador. And gets a total of 18.
Ooh,
Jesus Christ.
that is a hit.
So, that's a hit. So, ooh, what have I just dropped? I'll find it in a minute. So we're now going to roll. Grand total of 2 damage.
Jesus. I get really angry at this guy. I'm going to fucking fawn his corpse away.
Okay.
Oh, it's my turn next, don't worry.
Yep. He's not going to move, so... Merrick, you're up.
I'm going to say good flame again.
Sacred Flame. Okay, so 13 wisdom save.
Yeah.
He's not going to make, so roll for
Yes.
damage. 1d8.
1d8.
3. That's 20 total, which means the burning takes him out at this point. He's on the floor trying to put himself out as he dies. So, Null 1 is dead.
Vengeance. I saved you.
Thank you.
Now, next we have Null 2's turn, who's going to make another bite attack against Minstrel. And gets a 10. Not gonna hit. Catches nothing but air. So, we now come back to the top of the round. So, Balador, you're up.
Right, I am no longer holding his spear with my other hand, so I can use my longsword in a two-handed fashion.
Yep.
And I'm going to cleave the head off the dead gnoll.
Sure, you don't want to attack the living one?
He's
No,
angry.
I'm in a fit of rage right now. I'm pissed off at
Angry.
this.
So,
Do I have to roll attack?
no,
for that,
no,
or-
it's dead. You can hit it guaranteed. So you take its
Right.
head off with a sword.
Yeah, and then I move over to the other gnoll.
Okay. So you're now, I'm going to say behind it.
Okay. I'm very angry.
Okay. And holding the head of its dead comrade.
No, I've just left it on the floor. I'm currently using my longsword with 2 hands.
Beat
Okay.
it with it.
I could have beaten him with his mate's head, yeah. Maybe I should have done that.
You don't have improvised weapon trait.
No.
Okay, so Minstrel, you're next.
I would like to stab him with my rapier.
Okay, roll your attack roll. Ooh, 24, that hits. So roll 1d8 damage plus 3 for your dexterity modifier. 9 damage. So you catch it nicely in the gut. You don't know if you pierced anything vital, but it looks very unhappy. Do you want to move?
I'd like to take a step. No,
No?
attack of opportunity. No, I'll stay where I am.
Okay. So, next up we have Merrick.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, yes, and before this one,
Yep.
I'm going to stick with tradition and Sacred Flame.
Okay, let's make me roll.
13.
Nope, it's not going to make it. So roll for damage.
Shit.
3. It's a small burn. You weren't very accurate. It's just caught it on the top of the shoulder.
Singed him.
Okay, now it's the Null's turn. Being double-sided, he's going to now make a move
Hey.
and go to attack the one person by himself. So, Minstrel and
Don't I have
Baldor.
a attack?
Attack of opportunities.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So,
Join.
Minstrel, you're going to miss.
Simon joined.
+5.
Oh, +5, yeah.
He's
8.
listening, but he doesn't have a mic.
It's fine. 13,
That's
so
it.
your attack missed. Balador, make an attack roll.
Oh, yep.
So
Barrett.
1d20 +5. Also missed. He's managed to duck under both of you, unfortunately.
Bastard.
He's now going to make a bite attack against Merrick. 17.
Ah, 17, yeah.
Jesus, these fucking
So he
rolls
just
get
hits.
high rolls.
Mm.
Oh, wait, you're rolling with an actual dice. How do we know you're not just saying they're constantly getting natural 20s? No, I'm
Because
joking.
we haven't had one yet.
I'm joking. I trust you. I trust you.
He gets a total of 4. So
Ouch.
mark off 4 health.
Me?
7.
No, Merrick.
No, it's me.
Okay.
And we come back to the top of the row.
Right. Just going out of character a second.
Sure.
Is it feasible to do something along the lines of like wrestling him to the ground and tying him up?
You could grapple him, certainly,
Yeah.
and restrain him. So you want to move
What
next
would
to him
that involve?
and make
Would
an...
that be like?
Oh, sorry. You'd have to
Go on.
move next to him and make an athletics check.
Yeah, right, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Okay, so roll 1d20.
1d20
And add your
plus
athletics modifier. And proficiency
5.
if you are.
1d20 plus 7.
7? No, you should have 5 total.
No, because I got plus 3 for athletics, and then I'm proficient.
Plus
in
2,
athletics,
so that's 5.
and then proficiency as well. Oh, that
That is
doesn't count.
proficiency as well.
Oh, I see. Right, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters anyway, because look at that roll.
Nope, I was going to say, he very... Actually, I've got a roll for him, hang on.
Go on, roll a 1.
No, unfortunately not. He manages to very quickly break free and out of your grasp.
Right.
So you've
Okay.
moved and attacked, kind of. So next up we have Minstrel.
Go on,
If
Pete.
it worked, it would have been good.
Call me Minstrel. We're not friends. I barely know you, you dirty elephant.
We've killed 2 things together.
I would like to pull out my rapier and try and jab him in the eye socket, please.
Yep, so you're coming over here. So, make your attack roll. Add 5 total for yours, I believe. 11, that's not going to hit, I'm afraid. So that's a miss.
God, this Knoll is like the luckiest fucking,
You guys are just
Most-
rolling bad.
most skillful Knoll we've ever met.
Okay, next up we come to Merrick.
Dodging and diving. I'm going to Sacred Flame.
Okay, let's make another roll.
13.
This time he is going to make his save, I'm afraid.
Fuck.
So it's no damage.
It's the slipperiest knoll.
And then we come back to the Null's turn again, who is now very panicked and going to try to retreat into the forest. So everyone make an attack of opportunity.
I think our DM's getting bored.
No, there's a plan for this. Miss?
Oh,
Oh no, it's +5. You got
plus
hit.
5.
11.
17.
God, what was with my rolls?
Don't know what my plus is, actually.
+1, +3.
Oh,
you got it.
20.
Yeah, I got it as well, didn't I? So I do
so
a
you both
D8
roll
plus 3, don't
D8
I?
plus 3, and Merrick, yours is your Warhammer, I believe?
Yeah.
Plus 1 for your strength.
D6.
God, this bard does like as much damage as I do, and I've been learning to be a soldier since I was 8.
1 plus
So
1, 2.
for me.
Okay, so that's 11. So with damage already done... Yes, he dies as he heads into the forest. You conk him on the back of the head, just finishing him off.
Right, just quickly, I'm gonna pick up my halberd.
Okay. Dropping that was an odd choice.
Mm.
Okay, so moving on, or do you want to look over the bodies? What do you want to do?
I rummage through the pockets.
You find the spear and several odd pieces of bone.
I take the spear.
Okay, take the spear.
Why do you want a
one piece.
shitty? I look at him and I say, "Why do you want a shitty fucking knoll spear?"
A rapier.
Yeah,
A
That's
worthless
what-
spear. I'm just going to carry it around.
is he allowed to put the spear in his backpack, or does he have to
Yeah,
actually
he could stick it in just like behind it, I suppose.
Out of reach.
Yeah, I'm keeping the spear. Discarding the bones. Don't want no bones.
Okay.
Right, I pull out one of my jugs of wine, have a sip, and offer the jug to Merrick.
No, thank you.
I
No
slightly
alcohol shall pass
offended,
these lips.
slightly offended by that. And not understanding it, I put it back in my bag.
I interrupt and ask, do Loxodons have lips?
Yes. I'm a mammal.
Do they have knees? Anyway,
Yes. Very big knees.
right, onwards and up. I'm injured. I would like. There's not much. There's nothing I can do, sir.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too chirpy, but I mean, I could help you.
Okay.
How does your
But,
healing work then? How many healing spells do you get per?
2 per day.
I
or
would-
two
I've-
spell slots.
I've got like a small poke in my stomach and like a gash across my shoulder.
many
I
hit
think
points?
I'm all right. 8.
Oh, you got more than me. You're right.
I just bandage up my wounds and we can carry on then, I guess.
Okay. So, as you head down the road, you now begin to see, rising in the distance, a single, strange little stone fort. It has a large tree growing out the back corner.
Okay.
Does
Now,
this?
as you approach the edge of the forest line around it, you see there is a small encampment set up at the front.
Can I,
I
see
say
anyone
to
there?
Minstrel, do you fancy having a look? Sneaking up and
sneak.
seeing what you
Okay.
can see out
So,
around you.
you're
Yeah.
having a look to see what's there. So
I'm
whoever's
asking
looking,
Minstrel if he
roll your
wants to-
perception check.
Yeah, that was a bit cheeky.
Yeah.
Minstrel, you're a sneaky man. You can.
Yeah, I would indeed like to have a stealthy look around. Thank
Okay.
you, Mr. DM.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I thought you said you
Working
were
as
having a
team.
look. Sorry, my bad. Okay, make a stealth roll. 1d20
Plus
plus
5.
Oh my god.
Oh,
12.
Oh,
Okay, you feel quite conspicuous going out in the open, but you think you're stealthy.
I just saw the 1 there. I thought that was Chris's roll.
What do you want to do?
I suppose I'd like to have a look around, I suppose.
So you want to head towards the camp, or do you want to skirt around the edge? Do you want to...
Skirt around the edge.
Okay. Heading around the edge, you can see and hear several small groups of gnolls.
Several.
Several?
Several small
Yeah,
groups.
several groups.
Can,
They are
can-
mainly camped out in front of the doors to the fortress.
Can Minstrel count?
He can. Make a perception check.
Yeah, I would like to count to see exactly how many there are, because several implies more than 2 groups.
Several's 3.
Roll 1d20 is perception, in it.
hmm
Plus 2.
Eight.
Hey!
So, counting them off, you can see one group of 4, one group of 3, and one group of 5.
Cool.
I'm going to stealthily sneak away.
Good call. Make another stealth check for me.
What, back to us? I mean, yeah.
Oh no, he's got to sneak away now.
I'm more worried that he's sneaking towards us.
10. They still don't seem to have noticed you, luckily.
What time of day is it right now? Roughly.
It's just past midday.
Right, so it's very okay.
Oh, I got pissed early.
You did.
Yeah.
I say,
It's off in the
Minstrel.
morning.
Minstrel, what did you see?
There, lots.
How
There's
many?
about, what was there?
More, lots, just many, lots.
13?
Like
Well,
13.
We need to get past. I propose we create some form of a distraction, and then get into the fort that way.
Ah.
Do you want to
Very
maybe
good idea.
inspect
Well,
the
they're all-
fort first?
Yeah, they're all hanging around the door, so it's another way in. Then,
The trouble is, it's getting close enough to have a look around without being spotted. Because if we pull a lot, that's we're dead.
I mean, I have a very keen sense of smell. I don't know how much is that going to help. But
Make a perception check for me.
Poke a trunk up in the air.
just have a
Do you have to
little
hold up the
sniff.
trunk with your arms, or does it like go up?
Merrick,
Hey, it's
do me a
like
quick
limb.
favour. Make a perception check. 16 plus 2?
Perception, 3.
3. Fair enough. So, using your sense of smell, you can smell musty air coming from the back right of the fort.
Musty air. That means there's a cave there, right?
That means there's some way, something there anyway. Depending if there's a way through in that corner that we can get round to.
I asked Merrick if he thinks we should do that then.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to go in the front door. That's for certain. But our resident sneak might have something to say about that.
I mean, I am as you're well aware, I'm a renowned bard, and my father was a poet, author, visionary, plus actor. So I've got some skills from him as well. So I can, if appropriate, maybe see while we're hidden out of view whether casting an illusion would draw them away from a door.
You
So
wanna
we've
try
got
and
two
distract
options: try and find a cave and sneak in that way, or we can try and distract the gnolls and go in the front gate.
It's a bit of an old abandoned fort. There's not a hole in the wall somewhere.
And there are 12.
You remember what
there
I
are
said?
lots.
with the description. There is a tree growing in the back right corner
Yeah.
through the
Oh.
fort.
A tree. That means
The musky smell is just for tree. You can smell a tree. Well done.
Well, there might be someone sitting by the tree. I don't know. Is
Where
the
do we want to
tree
go? What do we want to
within
do?
reach?
I say, Minstrel, why don't you use your singing skills to distract the gnolls? While you're doing that, Merrick and I will sneak through the musty tree.
I mean, to be fair, whereabouts is a tree? Can you point it out, please, Mr. DM?
Okay,
Mm.
so as you're facing the fort, the
Wait, hold
tree is in the back right corner, just as it comes to to the edge of the forest. It's actually growing out of the fort.
Right. And where are we? What angle are we approaching the fort from?
So, hang on, let's start using the map.
Let's get back on the camera.
If the tree hangs low enough, pick you up, throw you into the tree.
Because we could always do a combination of the two, because depending on where the tree is in relation to the gnolls, I could move them away from a tree, which would decrease the chance of them seeing you.
Well, they're at the front, and then tree will be out back. so we can.
So are
Right,
we
use the
sure that that's
forest.
what the smell is then? The smell is the tree.
No, you don't know. Could be a pile of corpses. You know, something
It's
musty,
musty. That's all you got.
old, and horrible.
Right.
Well, it can't be my crotch because you were smelling in the
pull
other
up the
direction.
camera so I can see what you can see. Right.
Very keen smell. So.
So where are the knolls then?
Okay, the knolls will be just in front of the red lines.
In front of
Well,
the
Sorry, I'm going to bring this down a bit so you can actually see the back corner. Sorry, everything's in reverse. This may take me a second. Okay,
I think.
So-
Minch-
hang on. The tree is growing out of this area.
so there must be a breach then.
You are currently around here, just back in the tree line.
Where?
Off.
Just
well,
off camera past there. Sorry,
map,
everything's
yeah.
backwards. It's really confusing.
Okay. Would it be possible? And oh,
Alright, that was
I-
holding
I-
my camera in place.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
I'd like my colleagues' input on this before I decide to make an action. If I make a loud noise, say round the corner from there,
not the opposite side of the tree.
yeah, we could then rush to the tree.
Well, why?
Well, I mean, if the forest is going round,
Why do we care about the tree so much?
well, there might be a way in.
It's the smelly tree.
Or we could make that noise there and rush through and go in the front door. I mean, I'm easy. I'm
see.
happy with either option.
Well, you've
Let's
only
look
looked out
through.
front. You haven't actually looked what's behind that door.
All right, let's do a
Might be someone
wide
there.
flank and check out and approach the fort from the southie side.
You could
Yeah?
just walk
So
around.
you're heading towards the tree section round the edge.
We can
We're
stay
doing
in
a
the
wide
forest.
flank though.
Something.
Still, make a stealth check for me, everyone. Don't forget, one of you has heavy armor on. So, Balador,
Don't know
you
what
need
that
to
means.
roll twice.
Twice. Well, I've already failed, I think. So
You get +2 to dex. You're sticking in tree line as well.
so I roll again. do
So
I?
roll again. Okay. So,
My dexterity is terrible.
it's fine. That was going to say. I think Balador's probably got the lowest one. His total will
think
be
so.
6.
I mean, I did say a very wide flank, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So, as you're heading around, the gnolls seem to hear you walking past but dismiss it as they're still eating.
Just
You then come round to the side where the tree is, which I want to try and move to the center screen. So, you're here, and you can now see the tree has in fact grown through. Oh, damn it! The green one never comes off.
yeah,
Has
go on,
now
use that
grown
wanking
through the
wrist.
wall, allowing entrance. I need a new wet wipe.
Even for an 8-foot tall elephant man.
By climbing up onto the tree and going over, he can actually get over the top and into the breach.
Very athletic elephant.
Yeah,
So, are you
minus
heading
one
in?
acrobatics.
What's the point? Do Loxodons have fingers? And
Yes.
toes?
Yes,
Oh,
they
like
do.
A man elephant thing. Not
Okay,
just an elephant.
so are you heading into the fort?
Why not?
Okay.
I am. I'll
mean,
lead the way. I'm
dunno.
brave.
Do you want to take a look first?
It's too late. I've already led the way.
Was this into a tower?
The fighters come into this corner. I'll assume the rest of you are following.
Yeah.
So, right. Do. Okay.
Don't
Shut
give
up.
it away.
Shut up, or the enemies get harder.
We just snuck past them all. We don't want to stop.
I stopped
Fiddling about.
quietly playing my ocarina, and
What?
start strumming an air guitar.
Okay, you've come into the back room. looking
Meow.
around, you can see several old crates and where the roots have grown up through the floor for this tree.
Okay.
That's some chests.
And
Sorry.
I've-
Oops, sorry. I forgot a bit.
oh,
There is
that's
a door there.
Oh, right.
I'd like to check in one of the chests, please.
They're crates.
I'd like to check in one of the crates, please.
Okay. Opening the crates, you find rotten food.
Ooh.
Didn't even have to roll. What garbage loot.
Right.
Game's rigged.
Any holes in the door that I can peek through, like keyholes or?
Uh,
Uh,
it's just a big iron wrought door. It's not.
right. I try and subtly open the door.
Okay. Opening the door quietly as you can. You look into the hall and see nothing.
Oh god, he's blind.
It's an empty corridor.
Can't
My
be all
eyes.
walking through them, can they?
Right. I guess I'll lead the way now.
If we
Okay.
want to. Is there anything else? Is it
Door
just
is
that
open.
door?
Do you want to look further through this room or anything before you go?
I'll just have a little look around it.
Okay, make a quick
see if
perception
I
roll.
can, notice anything else?
Perception plus
15.
2.
15.
Yeah!
15 and 19.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, +3.
Plus 3. So 18 and 19. Okay, Merrick, you notice where the roots have grown through, there seems to be something under the floor. Minstrel, you seem to notice that it's a small, slightly gleaming box.
I open it.
You need to get it out from under the floor
Need to
first.
Try and get it first.
I'm halfway down the corridor at this.
Okay.
So,
You're smaller, so
you say it's in the floor?
It's in the roots where the tree's growing through the floor.
Okay, I'd like to kind of grapple through the roots then, I suppose.
Okay, they're quite thick. Make an athletics check.
You could have called your friendly orc friend over.
I think, is that a 1 or a -1? Zoom in,
Strength
minus
minus
1.
Considering you're 6 foot tall,
14.
100 pounds.
yeah.
Okay. Mainly through luck and not skill, you manage to find loose roots which come apart as you lift it out.
Yeah.
You now have the box.
I'd like to have a look in the box, please, sir.
You find a small bulb. Not like light bulb, like plant bulb.
Fuck this shit. I pass it to the cleric.
Okay.
Good.
Hmm.
Right.
You now
What
have
is
a
it?
box with a bulb in it.
Just a-
Oh no, I discarded the box. He's only got a bulb.
So he just has the bulb. Okay.
No, keep the nice shiny box.
He picks the box back up.
It's going to be worth more than a bloody bulb.
yeah.
Right.
I'll keep hold of them.
Okay.
So put them in your treasure.
Yeah.
As I'm walking down the corridor, it suddenly dawns on me that I have this ring on my finger, and I would like to look through the wall.
Okay.
It's on my right.
This one.
Yeah.
Into this room.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking through that wall, you can see the throne room. There is a throne about here-ish.
In a fort?
Yes,
Yeah.
in a fort.
Well, it's a military base.
However, the throne,
House.
on close inspection, does appear to be made by just piling up bones.
I turn to.
There is
uh,
also a
Sitting on it.
large furred creature sleeping on top of it.
a large. Oh, third, not third.
Furred.
Yeah.
Furry.
Quite big, I guess.
I
Taller than you.
Well,
I turn to Merrick
Huge.
and say, "There's a big monster in the next room over. We should be
Hmm.
careful."
maybe that's what I could
You guys
smell.
have come
You shouting that down the corridor.
I've moved you.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit.
As you caught up.
Monster! Careful!
Be quiet.
It's currently sleeping.
And I'm gonna X-ray vision through the door ahead of us.
Okay.
I feel like this magic item I've got is quite OP.
It's fairly helpful, but you weren't. I'll be honest, I'm surprised you killed the guy.
Yeah.
So, looking into this room, you can see what appears to be a library.
Ooh.
Bookshelves all round that wall.
That is that open on the right then?
there any books on the
Can I
shelf?
see a door?
You
closed?
can't see a door going through that way. No.
Well, I can't see that way, obviously. Or can
Well,
I?
no, you can look through that wall. There's no door there,
Right,
but you
okay.
can only look through one wall.
So I don't know
Can't
what's
see
in
that
the
corridor.
corridor or the entrance is.
No.
But there's only one way to go, so.
We can go through anyway.
Okay, so you're coming into the library.
Yep, and I'd like to pore over the books to see if there's anything useful.
Wait for it.
If there are any books.
Oh god, we're dead. We've died.
So, as you enter the library, a single knoll from that direction notices your entry.
Shit.
So, roll for initiative.
We've got to be subtle here. Is that door closed then? The main door?
The main
Oh,
door is still closed.
sorry.
Yeah,
12 plus 3,
15.
15.
Roll for initiative.
Can I minus?
Natural
So
20.
you're last.
I mean natural 1.
I mean, I get a -1 initiative as well.
So you're there, and let's put... Okay,
I got
and the
2.
knoll goes third. So it's Minstrel, Merrick, Knoll, then Balador. So, let's get going. Minstrel, you're up first.
Oh, God.
Do you know what? I forgot to add that fucking bardic thingy-bob in the last
Oh, it's
fight.
gone by the end of combat now.
Yeah, but I just remembered I forgot to do it in the last fight. I probably could have fucking wrestled that guy to the ground and tied him up.
Maybe.
Would it be possible? Oh. Yeah.
Can't be too loud.
Yeah, I was going to cast an illusion, but because I want to scare him away from that door. But if I cast an illusion, there is a chance that the people outside the door might hear it.
Surely he's just going to charge us because he's a dumb knoll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery, please.
Okay, that's 13 DC. Doesn't make it, so roll your damage.
That's a D4 in it.
He looks visibly upset at your insult
And takes 3 damage.
and takes 3 damage.
And is disadvantage on the next attack.
Yes, so next up is Merrick.
Yeah. Well, I guess if I have to move within sight of him.
Yep, because you've got a wall
Right.
between you and him now.
Yeah, so I want to be in sight, 'cause I want to cast a Sacred Flame.
So you've got to come round here. Okay,
Block the door.
with your giant mass.
Yes. So Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame, so rolling again. He's not going to make it, so roll for damage.
1d8.
I wonder how loud.
Fuck.
So he's burning. It's not good, he's now making noise, trying to put himself out briefly.
Shit.
So he's now going to charge to here and make a spear attack against Merrick. He gets disadvantage on this one, so he gets a total of 8. So it's not going to hit.
No dice.
What is your armor class?
17.
Oh, same as mine. Right.
So we now come to Balador.
Yeah. I'm assuming I can't fit past this elephant.
Not really. He's kind of blocking the door.
Can I throw an axe past him?
We'll say if you move to there, you could try and get it through the gap.
Okay. I hope I don't.
Make an
accidentally-
attack roll.
don't make a really bad roll. Hit me.
I will make a bad roll. I always do. No. Oh.
9 plus 5 is 14. You manage to get it past Merrick, but it just slides down the hallway as he misses.
Okay.
Okay, back to the top of the round. That's Minstrel.
Can I?
Shut
I
up.
can't move
No,
again.
it's my turn.
Well, you didn't ask me. Okay.
You did move. You moved to make
So
the
you only-
attack.
Right. So I'm not allowed to move again.
You could use the rest of your movement. Where would you want to go?
Just on the left of Elephant Man.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to. Are the walls soundproof?
They're stone.
Echoey.
Fuck it. I'd like to cast Thunderclap.
Thunderclap. Okay.
What, through me?
You'll clap your ass cheeks together.
Actually, there's a point. Is there friendly fire like Arsat?
Which can be heard at every creature in range other than you. Yes, there is.
Shit. Sorry, guys.
And it's so Balador and Merrick, please make a Constitution saving throw
Oh, that's not bad for me, actually, I think.
I need to
against
work out-
13, and I've got to make one for the Knoll.
So
Who
what
doesn't
do I
make
do?
it?
Roll a d20
Yep, roll a d20,
That's my
and add
constitution.
2, so 8.
and your proficiency is 10. But even
10.
so, you've not made that one.
What am I rolling for?
Constitution saving throw.
Oh, right.
Alright, Chris, roll damage against
My
me.
saving.
Cunt.
So you would roll a d20, add 2, I think?
Alright, 6.
6. Okay, so Minstrel, you're rolling for damage against everyone, so roll a d6. 4. Every
Oh.
creature takes 4 damage as a very loud noise
That's like
carries
the
out.
most fucking damage I've taken, and you just made a huge loud noise.
You're nearly,
Oh
you
God.
nearly killed me. with that.
My character is chaotic neutral, by the way, so I'm not sure if he would take that.
I start crying and apologising profusely.
I am the lawful good.
Remember what I said about reading your spells?
Yeah.
Well, it says creature. I wasn't sure if players counted as creatures.
They do. They are alive. Okay. You can still move.
I suggest you run
Uh,
off, go away.
Well, to start with, I'd like to cast Bardic Inspiration on Loxodon, please.
Okay. Merrick, take 1d4. Inspiration.
1d4.
Bloody use it this time.
Yeah, I forget about it.
Okay.
Well, do I actually roll it on?
You can add it to your attack roll when you make a melee attack or a ranged spell attack.
Cool.
Okay. So we now come to... Do you want to move, Minstrel?
No, sir.
Okay. Merrick, your turn.
Well, I think I'm actually going to have to cure wounds on myself.
Okay. Do you want to move out the way of the door?
Yeah, I'm going to step back, sort of in line with Bardington.
Okay. And cast Cure Wounds.
Yeah. I forgot what I actually have to do for that.
Just pulling it up to make sure. So,
1d8 plus my ability modifier.
spell casting ability modifier. So, Wisdom plus 3. So, 1d8 plus 3 to heal.
8. Plus
5. So, add 5 hit points.
that's helpful, but I'm still not at full strength.
Fair enough.
You knocked me down to 3.
You're back to 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we now come to Ballad. No. Noel's turn first, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Balador's turn. So the Noel's now going to move into the room to here and make a bite attack against Balador. It gets a 1, so it's not hitting.
That's a critical fail. Oh,
It is in fact a critical fail. So he grabs a bite out of the bookshelf.
it takes 1 damage to his teeth.
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
Alright, seeing as I'm within. Oh, is it my go?
Yeah, sure, go.
Within
Right, I'm
striking
gonna,
distance.
Yeah, I don't need my halberd anymore. First of all, bonus action, second wind, I think it's called.
Second win. So roll 1d10 and add that to your health.
1d10 plus 1, right?
Yeah, fighter level. 6, 7. So add 7 to your health.
So I think I'm back up to full now. 7. No, I'm up to 11 out of 12.
Yeah, pretty good.
And two-handed longsword strike
Okay.
against the Knoll.
So that deals go
Not
for
against
an attack roll
Minstrel.
plus 5 total.
Nope,
Oh,
doesn't
yeah, I've
want to
used
do
the
it.
spell slot now.
That's going to hit.
23.
So roll 1d10 1d10 for damage.
1d10 plus 3, right?
Yep. So
8.
that's 8
8.
damage. That makes a nice gash across its chest.
What? He's not dead?
You
Nice
haven't hit him
gash.
that much yet.
Oh no, that's right. We've just been
I'm gonna
hit
hit
by
him
our fucking
once.
bard.
Yeah.
So we now come back to the top of the turn with Minstrel.
Me.
Yeah, I've realised I shouldn't have let the DM pick my cantrips because Thunderclap is bloody useless.
Oh, it's not.
Make your own character then.
Would have been useful. I mean, like, it seems like quite an OP AOE, considering the amount of damage it did.
The trouble is the range is really short.
100
So
feet.
no, it's hold on. Thunderclap spells range / area 5 foot, and it can be heard up to 100 feet away. So from where I am, it's 100 feet around me. It's cast.
Yeah.
So
basically.
it's ridiculous. Good for solo play, I suppose. Right. Where am I? Point to me.
You're in the doorway.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah, that one.
Okay. I want to run up and hit him with my rapier.
Okay, make an attack roll.
And that is plus
5.
5. Oh,
Exclamation
Roll.
point, not slash. 6.
What?
1.
+5. Do you get? Is that-
Yeah,
that
no,
was
critical
+5.
fail. You jab
Oh,
it into the wall
blimey.
and just take it back out with a book on the end.
what book?
Burn.
Roll
ruined
a
it.
history check.
You can check that later. Give me a minute. It's a children's picture book.
Swordcraft for dummies.
Oh, brilliant.
All its pages missing.
There's nothing else I can do, so skip turn.
Okay, we now come
I take
to
my
Merrick.
leave.
Right. Hello. I want to Sacred Flame him.
Okay, so
This
he
time.
makes a
I'm in within
wisdom
range.
throw, and he doesn't
Yeah.
make it. So roll 1d8 for damage.
Come on.
7. Good. So it's a big burn, catching his hair alight. Smells like burning hair. It's not great.
Oh no, got keen smell.
So we now come to the Null's turn, who's now going to make a bite attack against Balador. He gets a total of 11, so it's not going to hit.
Yeah, he just, as I raise my arm to attack him and slash him, he bites my arm, but it's covered in chainmail, so he can do shit.
Fair enough. Last turn is Balador.
I'm going to cleave this knoll in twain with my longsword.
Make an attack roll.
Oh, that's a 19.
19 hits. Make a damage roll.
Come on.
9.
12.
12. Okay. So you split him, I'd say, head to stomach before you get caught in spine.
Nice. Good.
He's dead.
Dead.
Definitely.
And I put my hand over my mouth so as not to smell the juices coming out of it.
Yeah.
Then then I turn to Minstrel and I grab him by the throat and I say, if you ever do that to me again, I will pull off your head with my bare hands.
I'd like to inquire, DM, at what point in this campaign did Balador acquire bare hands?
Are they in your equipment?
Oh.
Very good. And then I pick up my halberd and go, well, where is my axe that I threw?
It's in the hallway.
Somewhere in the wall.
Alright, I'm gonna search the room, check out these books before I go and pick up my axe.
Okay. So as you're searching the room, you have now heard a large creature stirring in the back room.
What's he stirring?
God,
Comes
it's not-
aside.
Hmm.
So you can hear him waking up. So make a perception check for searching the room.
I'd also like to search a room.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm gonna know.
So we got a 5, a 9, and a 3.
I mean, surely it's a history check to look at the books, isn't it, to find out if there's any
You're
good
seeing if
books?
there's any of them intact first.
Right. Okay.
So the highest result was Merrick. With
got a 9.
perception, you get +3, don't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it was.
So that's
Yeah,
12.
yeah.
So you managed to find a small, intact children's picture book.
Ah.
Other than that, the books seem fairly ruined.
I'm gonna throw that back. Check on the floor.
Okay.
The terrifying insinuation here is that a fort has a child's picture book in it. How intelligent was it? No wonder it's overrun by bloody gnolls.
Maybe they built. Never know.
Well, these four, like,
They could have had
Mm,
family
keeps.
come visit.
yeah, the little castles and things, really.
Yeah. So
Okay.
sorry, I got lost there. So there's no books worth.
No
No,
books
I
worth
found a few
taking.
decent
Most of them were ruined.
Right. Okay.
Slow rubbish.
So, now into the hallway, you can see a large knoll come down out of the main room you looked in earlier.
Is this one
Oh,
of
well,
the
there goes my
beasts?
It hasn't seen you yet.
Uh,
Oh. Hmm.
right. Hasn't
Not
seen. So we're allowed to
really.
talk to each other then, or
I'd be quiet.
I whisper
whisper
to minstrel. Now's the time for one of your ridiculous spells.
I'd like to take some initiative here and cast a minor illusion the
Okay.
other end of the corridor in that top room of a delicious person.
Delicious person. Over in this room.
That's correct, yeah.
You can't see in that one because it's got a door closed.
By the door then.
By the door. So here.
Yeah.
Okay. So minor illusion is a.
But it's gonna be a quiet one, so it sounds like it's behind the door.
Okay. Minor illusion is a. Okay, investigation against DC. So the creature turns to the noise and cannot determine where it's coming from, but can hear it. So it's currently over here, sniffing at the door, looking for something.
Okay, I'd like to increase its volume slightly, where it's gotten a bit
Can
closer.
Sorry, can I just interject? Can I see in that room with my magic ring?
With the ring of X-ray vision, you can't see past the creature.
Okay. Shit.
I'd like to increase the
Oh.
volume where it's
Can
got
I-
closer.
Can I see through the wall to the knolls outside?
You
Are
can.
they have they reacted in any way to this?
They seem to be
explosion?
quite used to loud noises being in there. They're still eating and sitting around in their encampment.
Good. Right, carry on, minstrel.
Okay, as opposed to making it sound louder, I'd like to change the illusion behind him to be behind him, and
Okay.
instead be an image of a giant gnoll-eating monster.
The image has to be small according to the spell.
A small gnoll-eating monster.
No larger than
So-
a 5-foot cube.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty intimidated by something 5 foot tall that was trying to eat me. Just saying.
How tall is the creature?
The creature's
saw
a
earlier
little
bigger
taller
than
than
us.
Merrick. It's about 8 foot
Mm.
tall.
Okay,
And 10 foot wide. Jesus, this is a fat bastard.
It's just got
Um,
legs hanging out either side.
okay, I'll stick with the original plan. I want to make where it's got close to the door. I want to make the noise a bit louder.
Okay. It's now pushed open the door. Oh, damn it. I need the wet wipes. Oh, sorry.
You
2
shat
seconds.
yourself again. Just stop shitting yourself.
I would, but it's not that easy.
It's had too many caffeine pills.
Pro Plus.
Oh, dear. So he's now looking in the door but now can't work out why it's behind him when he hasn't passed. So you've got about 6 seconds before he turns round, and I make you roll. For initiative.
I'd like to sprint into the throne room.
Sprint into the throne room.
You get a surprise attack.
Okay, you can get to there.
Thank you.
You
Jesus.
two, this is your surprise round. What would you like to do?
I'll charge him.
Charge
Right.
at the beast?
While he's
I mean,
doing
how
that,
far
I'm
can
going
I
to leg
move?
it in that.
How
I'm going to
far-
try and get into the room.
Wait, how far can I move
There.
and do an action?
Oh, and do
Can
an
I do-
action.
Yeah.
There.
Right, I'll move to there and then chuck my second axe at him.
Chuck your other hand axe.
Yeah.
Fair enough. The other one is in there somewhere. Okay. Merrick, what are you doing during this time?
I'm going to try and join little Bardington. Or Minstrel.
4, 5,
I'm going to
God.
hide in there.
My colleagues are all
Yep,
bloody
you can get in there.
cowards.
Might get a surprise attack.
As I'm throwing
No,
my
you've
hand axe-
sprinted. So,
As I'm
Stuck.
So
so now,
actually,
before we roll for initiative, Balador, you get to roll an attack with advantage.
I don't know what that
So
means.
roll twice and take the higher result.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Oh.
fuck.
9.
9.
So you miss the shot. It sticks in the door next to the knoll.
The reason I missed is because I was distracted by an 8-foot tall elephant running past,
Giant
and I
sprinting.
mumble Craven as I throw the axe.
Come lolloping past.
So the creature
Must
is
have
now
knocked off
turned
balance.
round to see you. And roll for initiative.
You can't see us.
He can't see you two, he can see Balador.
Yeah.
I'd like to say in this point, I have just casted minor illusion to make it appear that there's a door in between.
It's a 10-foot gap, mate.
That's called retconning.
You
Yeah,
could put
that's
half
good.
a door up. And you
Yeah, I'm-
sprinted, you don't get an action.
Hmm.
Ah,
So everyone roll for initiative. So Balador's got 10. Merrick's got 8.
8. Oh,
23 for Minstrel.
3.
And
got
the
to be
creature's
first.
gonna get
it's a shame I'm a fucking bard.
8. So,
Ah.
Minstrel, you're
Oh.
up first, followed by Balador, followed
Do a
by
thunderclap.
Merrick, followed by
Alright.
the large knoll.
Okay, I want to use my bonus move to cast Bardic Inspiration on Balador.
Okay, Balador,
Thanks,
add that to
for that.
your inspiration dice.
And can someone please use the inspiration dice?
Yeah.
I'm
I didn't get a
trying
chance.
to remember. I can't remember numbers.
It's fine, I'll try and remind you.
I don't think I attacked again after that. First
Do I
time.
get it just for the first attack after the
You can
spell?
use it for the next 10 minutes, so 600 combat rounds.
Oh, nice.
And I suppose, considering I can't actually see the creature from where I am, I'd like to quickly scan the room to see if there's anything that might help us in this situation.
Okay, make a perception check.
Ah,
No.
fucking hell.
You can't see a lot that would help you. The bones, which have been piled up into his throne, might be a good place to try and lure him. But realistically, you can see some old suits of armor which look more rusted than helpful.
Although on that, I think I might do the same.
Fair enough.
Have a little look.
It's your turn next.
As I
It's just if
can.
Minstrel wants to move.
No, I'm staying still.
Okay.
Oh,
Right,
actually,
Balador
no.
next.
Oh, never mind.
But we'll wait for.
I haven't.
Oh,
We'll keep
was
the
it
roll.
Micah?
Yeah, it's your go
I-
next.
I hadn't been any. It was him, and then
Yeah,
Balador,
um,
Minstrel,
me.
then the
Isn't it?
creature.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Balador, Merrick, then the creature.
Right.
Oh.
Can I skip my turn like in
You
Divinity
can hold your turn. When do you want to hold it till?
until after he's moved? I'm hoping to lure him towards me. Does that work like that? Or?
Yeah, you can hold your move till then. So
So let
next up
him-
is Merrick. So you've looked round.
oh,
You
no,
get plus
rather
3,
run. 14.
14. So you can actually spot over the back a small trap door behind the throne. I'll mark it. Just there.
Alright. Yeah,
Rest of your turn is still up.
I might have a little look at it.
You want to go over to it?
Yeah,
Okay.
so might be
Oh
useful.
my God, you're just leaving me to die here.
Okay.
It'll
You
be
can see
alright.
it's a trap door. You can feel a cold breeze coming from it. It looks like this
I-
might be the path mentioned for getting through the mountain.
I really hope I don't have to roll another fucking character after the first session.
Okay, the Knoll is now going to charge at Balador with a charge attack. It's not going to hit, but it is going to close the distance. So,
Right.
Balador,
turn.
your turn.
I guess halberd then.
Halberd, okay. So roll an attack.
Does my halberd not stop him from getting close to me, or is that not a thing in D&D?
No, I'm afraid not.
Oh. Fucking critical.
Critical
fail.
fail. It doesn't go well. It just bounces lightly off. You hit him with the wrong side.
Oh, but I've still got it then.
You still got it for now. I'm not that mean. Okay, so we now come back to Minstrel.
I'd like to cast Vicious Mockery by playing an annoying tune at the giant nasty man.
It's not going to make it. It's not going to make its wisdom saving throw. So roll 1d4 damage. Three. It now looks at you angry. Next up, we have Balador.
More importantly, it's disadvantaged.
I would like to hit him again with the halberd, and this time I will use Bardic Inspiration.
Okay, so roll a d20.
And then a D4, right?
Yeah, then add a d4.
Ooh.
Wish I hadn't bloody used it. Now. Do I get to use it again, or is that it?
No, that's it. It's gone.
Right, it's a 27 then.
27. So it hits.
26.
So roll damage,
It's a 10.
and then add your strength. So 10 total,
that's-
yeah.
10, yeah.
So, okay. That's a nice sharp cut against its torso. Do you want to move?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'll stand my ground because I'm a brave orc.
Okay. Merrick, you're up next.
I think I'm in range for Sacred Flame.
Well, I'm going to say move to there so it's in sight line.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it rolls wisdom.
13.
It's not going to make that. So roll 1d8 for damage. 4. So singes it.
Okay.
Okay, next up is the creature. He's going to throw his spear straight back towards Merrick.
Bastard.
It's an easy target. Where doesn't Merrick have a big too wide thing like the Nolda?
It's slightly broader than his. So this grand total of 15.
Yeah, 17.
So you catch its spear in the shield. It now no longer has that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do. It's kind of sticking out your shield. So that's the end of its turn. And now we come to Minstrel again. Minstrel?
I'm thinking.
Okay.
I wouldn't
And
do
I'm also checking Bardic Inspiration because I'm confused.
Have I not got that?
I think that's all your uses for the day.
It's all my uses, but I was confused by what level it is.
You're the first level one, so you get 1d4. When you go up to level 5, it goes to 1d6. It's not a spell.
Okay.
It's an ability.
Yeah, I got confused because the thing I'm saying on says it starts off as a 1d6. Doesn't matter. I'll look it up later. Can I cast good old Vicious Mockery?
Okay. It does not make its throw.
Just a quick question. Do you have to say you're using Bardic Inspiration before you make the roll?
You can say it after, but once you've said it, you're using it.
It-
So
it's,
if
a
I-
it's a bonus action.
Oh yes, it
So
is a
if I-
d6. I apologise.
So if I do an attack roll and fail, can I then say I'll bardic inspire it?
As long as I haven't stated the result yet, yes.
Okay.
I got a 4.
So it takes 4 damage. It's now looking thoroughly pissed.
Pissed is not the word I wanted to hear.
That's the opposite of what I
Angry.
wanted to hear.
Hitting
It's
things.
now
annoying.
Balador's turn. Unless you want to move.
I'll take that as a no.
Minstrel?
No, no moving.
No, okay.
Right. I've had enough of the halberd. Time to get the old longsword out. Two
Oh.
hands.
2 hands, so rolling for attack.
Off with his head. I really want a better
5.
stabby.
So,
10.
no, it's not going to hit, I'm afraid.
Oh, I should get the halberd now. I feel like the halberd should be more detailed in this game.
Okay,
Pole arms.
so do you want to move?
No, I'm good.
Okay,
I,
next we come
went-
to
No, I'm good.
Merrick.
I'm going to stick with the Sacred Flame, I think.
Okay. It's going to make it save that time, so no damage, I'm afraid.
Fuck.
You can still move.
I'll move up to Bardington.
Sure.
Level with him.
Okay. So we now come to the Knoll's turn. He's now going to make a second charge attack, this time against Minstrel.
Hit!
Has he got another spear?
Charge.
Oh, I see, right. So I
I've
get
still
to
got his spear.
He doesn't have his spear.
I get to stab him, right?
So that is a total of 16.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, so we roll damage.
Can't I stab him while he's
You
charging?
you don't attack of opportunity with a charge, unfortunately. So he deals
I-
a total of 3 damage and knocks you back 5 feet. So that's the end of his turn. We come back to the top with Minstrel.
Okay, where am I?
You got moved
you
back
just
to
got
here.
hit.
Oh, so I'm still right next to him. Then. Okay, I'd like to stab him with my rapier.
Okay. So make an attack
Oh.
roll.
Roll 1d8, and then it's +3 in it.
Roll 1d20. Your attack roll
Oh, yeah.
first, plus 5.
+5.
16. It's going to hit. So now roll 1d8 plus 3. 8 damage. Good.
No. 5
Oh,
damage.
You did the plus 3. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 damage. Okay. Yep, that's fine.
I poke him.
Okay. So now, do you want to move?
Stay where I am. I'm a brave bard.
Okay. So we now come to Balador.
I'm so tempted to run away right now.
Out the door to the waiting horde.
Is it a bonus action to pick up my halberd?
Sure.
Alright, I'll do that then. A bonus action, pick up the halberd, then hit him again with the halberd.
Make an attack roll.
One roll of attack.
1d20 plus 5, 19. So that's going to hit. So roll a d12 and add 3.
D10, right?
D10, sorry. Yes.
10.
10. Okay. He's now starting to look a little worried by this combat. It's a nice slash on his back.
Nice. I'm calming down a bit now.
So you
The,
can still move.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So we now come to Merrick.
It's going to have to be Sacred Flame again,
Okay.
I think.
He's not making a save that time. So roll 1d8 for damage.
Get wrecked.
3. So it burns off the fur around his mouth. It's not enough to finish him off, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's
Isn't that
fine.
just called a beard?
Well,
Not
it's
when you're
got a
covered in
furry-
fur.
Right.
Okay. We now come to the Knoll himself, who's now going to take a swing with his claws at Merrick.
saw that coming.
And he gets a 3, and he has disadvantage from Crush's Vicious Mockery because the charge attack didn't count. So he gets a total of 3.
Oh, that's
So
a
it's not
terrible,
hitting.
terrible miss.
Yes, it is. Just completely swing and a miss.
Don't know how he missed the giant Loxodon, but
No idea.
he's
You
made.
hit your armor, you hit your shield, you put your shield up.
Not with that
What's
sort
he
of roll.
attacking with?
He
Is
just
he trying to bite?
claw.
Claw.
Just swing, catches his arm on the shield too close. Had the range wrong. Okay, so we now come back to Minstrel.
Like to stab him with my rapier.
Make an attack roll. 14. You are in luck. Just hits. So roll 1d8 plus 3. 5. Minus 5. Okay. So he's now looking very rough indeed. He's still hanging on.
I don't want to move or anything.
Okay, so we now come to Balador.
Hit Balador with a coup de grace.
I bet you guys can't guess what I'm going to do.
Halberd?
How did you
Sword.
know?
Oh,
Oh, yeah, sword is an option.
No, halberd. Then I don't have to move.
Fair enough. So roll 1d20 plus 5.
Plus 5 is so OP.
Plus 5, 15. Yeah, that's going to hit. So roll 1d10 plus 3. 9. Plus 3 is 12.
Come on, I chop his head off. Come on.
No, he is barely hanging on, I'm afraid.
oh.
Right.
He is,
Can I at least hit him in the head?
we'll say it's a nice cut. You've taken off the lower half of his jaw.
Ooh. That poor man. I
a
mean,
knoll.
Noel.
Yeah.
So, we now come to Merrick.
Surprise, surprise. Sacred Flame.
Okay, let's see if he makes his roll this time. He does not.
Yes.
So roll 1d8 for damage.
Come on. Ooh,
5. Yep, that's going to do it. So, casting Sacred Flame, you now ignite down his throat as his jaw hangs open. His lungs burn out from inside his chest, and he collapses to the floor. And yes, you
Oh,
can tell it's
bitch.
male. Something is hanging there. So,
Try to hit
victory!
the holes.
I fondled
Indeed.
the
Now,
gentleman.
I'd like to take this opportunity to say I believe us as a party, having achieved victory over that big, dangly, dick monster, should take a short rest.
My recommendation is going to be... Give me a second to describe the after. I was going to give you time to loot first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, loot the corpse if you want to.
Yeah, have a search for the corpse, why not?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm gonna
roll-
take. Did you say you opened the door of that other tower?
He opened the door to the other room.
And so that we know there's nothing in there.
You can see in. Do you want to have a look?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on my
You
way
make a
over.
perception
I
roll
pick
for
up-
that. Minstrel, make an investigation check for looting the body.
And by the way, I've picked up my hand axes now.
Sure. So, Balador, looking in, you can see what's clearly the kitchen where they've been preparing the meals for this guy.
Nice booze.
19.
Booze.
Minstrel, you notice his armor. It appears to be slightly nicer than yours. It's in fact tribal leather armor.
I'd like to wear it, please.
It is
My
too
God.
big for you. You will have to get it adjusted first, but you can
Damn
take it with you.
Yeah, I'll take it with me.
So he's just got this knoll spear and armor from a 10-foot wide knoll.
Yep.
I had the spear. It's stuck in my shield.
Yeah, that's a
No,
good.
no,
You know, Minstrel
the others.
looted one off one of the others.
Oh yeah, that really crappy one.
Okay. So at this point, you can now hear outside the gnolls having heard the death cry of
What
their
about
great
my
leader.
Perception check of the other.
The kitchen. You could tell it was a kitchen.
Oh, okay. So
Shitty null food.
what about
you-
booze?
There's no booze. Gnolls don't drink.
I'm angry.
Okay. You can now hear the gnolls clamoring at the door, trying to get it open.
I think
Well,
you should
that
move
trap
me to
door
the
down
tower.
there is.
Yeah, I think head to the trapdoor, and once we're through safely, have a rest.
Okay,
Hmm.
so you're going to go through the trap door and seal it. As best you can.
That's my vote.
Yes.
Wait,
Yeah.
can I? How much of an action would it be to try and set fire to the fort before we go in the trapdoor?
It's made of stone, so good luck.
Stone burns. Isn't the floor wood?
It's a bit
No,
of a
the
ruin
stone's,
anyway.
the floor's stone as well. It's got some rugs on. They'd go up, but they wouldn't burn long.
I wish I was a wizard. As I'm running towards the other two, I say, I wish I was a wizard. I want to burn this place down.
Fair enough. So, having escaped into the trapdoor, you seal it behind you using the spear stuck in Merrick's shield
Yes,
to
please.
latch it across.
Good idea.
You then set up in the dark tunnel to camp to take a long rest.
Yeah, let's have a long one.
You sealed it as best you can. So, with that, we're going to upgrade you to level 2, because you actually managed to beat my first boss.
Ooh. Wait, the first boss wasn't the shopkeeper?
It should have been. Should have made him so much stronger. So, who remembers leveling up?
Me.
Good.
Not
So you
really.
know how to do that yourself?
No. I mean,
So, Minstrel, make your health die roll and add your constitution multiplier. I'll trust you to do the rest of it yourself.
1d10 plus
So I didn't hear that.
So, roll one of your hit dice into the chat and add your constitution modifier.
Fuck.
Nope, you take the average.
Add my constitution 1 second plus 1.
You take the average.
Ah.
No, not a d20.
Oh,
Minstrel.
let me do that again.
Your hit die.
Hit die. What's my hit die?
I'm just double check. 1d8.
1d8.
So, Balador, you're in higher than that as base anyway. So, Balador, you've got +2 to Constitution, correct?
yes.
Yes, so you get a total of 8
8. Oh,
extra
that's
hit points to your total.
Nice, so I'm at 20 now. That's
Yep, and you're
okay.
fully healed. We'll go over the rest of it in a moment for you. I'll do you first, we'll come to Minstrel after,
Oh,
because you rolled first.
yeah, you can do me whenever you like.
Second level, you get Action Surge. I will...
You talking to Chris or me?
You.
Right.
Aussie.
Action surge. Okay.
Action Surge. I'll just copy the information for you and give it to you quickly so you can just copy it straight in.
Where are you sending it? Into...
I'll put it into the chat.
Out of character for a second, Craig.
Yep,
I'm just looking at leveling up as a bard.
yep.
So first level, which is what we are entering, isn't it?
No, you are entering
second
second level.
Yeah, sorry, second level. It says cantrips known 2. Why has my character sheet got 3? As a level 0. A level 1, sorry.
Level 1. So you're on the table. I had this set up so long ago. Oh god, I might have done you like I did the cleric. I gave you 3 because you're a modifier. Okay, take one of those off. You've only used...
Okay, goodbye, Thunderclap.
You've used that one. Get rid of the other one.
What other one? I've used them all.
I only know you used 2. Oh, Minor Illusion.
Minor
Fair.
Illusion, Vicious Mockery, and Thunderclap.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry, I did that like I did the cleric's one. My bad.
Yeah, that's gone bye-bye.
Okay. So that's
Thunderclap.
yours, and now we... need to
what was
just
that
start.
thing called, Craig? That I
Action
copied?
Surge. It's in the
Action.
chat for you.
Yeah, you didn't copy the actual name.
I didn't touch... Yeah, sorry.
Action surge.
So
Okay.
that's fine. And you also got to 2 hit dice. So change it to 2d10
2d10. Yeah.
in hit dice.
Do I get anything else? Do I learn any more weapons or?
No, you're
your
proficient with every
proficiencies.
weapon being a fighter.
That's it. That's all I get. Is just more hit
Action
points.
Surge. And extra health.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's
Now
alright, next
coming
level
on
I'll
to
be-
Minstrel. I'm just going to switch over to Bard so I can copy and paste your one because it's also long.
I get Jack of all trades and Song of Rest.
Yep.
jack off all trades.
So if you just want to copy those into your abilities.
Jack of all
I'm going for a
trades.
quick piss. I'll be right back.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
into
right, we'll
features
do
and trades, I put them. And I think I get another spell, don't I? Spell's name 5. So I get 1 new spell.
Yep, you get 1 new spell and 1 more spell slot for first level.
So I need to find out what spells are available to me at this level.
So spell book, let's say. So you're learning 1 first level spell. Search bard.
I'm having a look.
Okay.
So yeah, that's another one. Oh, actually, first level. So I have already got some first level spells, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
To have Thunder Wave and something else.
I would like. That's a very good question. Let me just have a see
You
what
can
that one
take
is.
Cure Wounds.
Oh, but I can take a wounds or healing words.
Yeah. Okay. While you pick your spell, I'm going to go through Merrick.
Yeah, cure wounds.
Cure Wounds. Okay. The only difference is that's touch based, not.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
have
that's
to
fine.
be physical range.
What do I do with my hit points?
Hit points. You got the below the average, so you take the average, which is 5 plus your Constitution, so you get 6.
6. 9 plus 6.
On top of your hit point maximum.
So let's do you next, Merrick.
Okay,
15.
so 1d8.
Right, while you're doing
Oh,
him,
dear.
I'll have a wee.
Sure.
6.
So you get 6, so that's above the average. So you take that and add your plus 2, so you get 8.
Nice.
So you get 8 more hit points at level 2. What do we get for
I have
cleric?
returned.
Hey.
I've run out of beer. I'm gonna have to drink whiskey now.
Okay, let's pull this one up for you. Cleric.
In this rest, by the way, can we? Is it right to have a little campfire or?
You're
We've got fire
underground.
going.
We'll get to that once we've done the leveling up. And I think we're probably going to call the session in a minute as well, because it's been
What?
3 hours.
Yeah, it's 10.
Channel Divinity. Now, you're an Order Cleric, so I need to check which one is.
Oh, I could change that to level 2 fighter now.
Yes, you can, as well, you can change that. So, I'm just going to try and find a online version of this so I can post it in for you.
Nothing else of mine changes, does it?
No, you're okay.
Cool.
Ah, here we go. Channel Divinity Orders Demand. You gain this. It's going to go into the chat for you. It's called Channel Divinity Orders Demand.
Oh, yes.
I'll copy that too. There you go.
Cool.
That didn't copy. Don't copy that yet. Wait.
Right.
The first I posted Action Surge again somehow. There we go. So you want to go from Channel Divinity Orders Demand downward.
Aye.
Okay. So,
Awesome.
anything else for you? Spells will be the main one. So you now have 3 first level spell slots. Nothing else changes.
Oh, yeah.
I'd just like to make it clear at the end of this long rest, I want to make use of my Jack of all trades.
You don't have to do it. You just add half your proficiency to every skill check you're not proficient in.
Yay!
Yeah,
Woohoo.
okay. Because we had this last time, didn't we?
The trouble is, Reddit says different, so I'm confused.
It might be wrong. It might not be looking at 5th edition.
Okay.
Here, I'll copy it in for you from the resource I have. There you go. Jack of all trades. Okay.
Okay.
And do you want me to put the Song of Rest in as well?
Yeah, because I'm on D&D wiki, and I'm getting different for everything, so I'm very
Fair enough.
confused.
I am also on dnd5e.wiki.com.
I'm on D&D wiki
That's
/
right.
jack of all trades 5e feat.
That's a feat. That's not a bard skill, you idiot.
What the hell's a feat?
We'll get to them at level 4.
A little while yet then.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
I've got the correct definition.
Okay.
Let's go. Going in my character sheet.
Goes on your character sheet. Good.
Quick.
Okay. So, with your party now set up in the tunnel, you've set a small fire and you're resting for the evening. And I'm going to call the session there before I pull my hair out.
Oh,
I think
All right.
3 hours is pretty